Here we go. So welcome to episode 12 of the OurTeam podcast. We're still going. We've made it to 12 episodes. That's amazing. First of all, guys, thank you so much for your support on the last podcast. It was the first podcast to break 1,000 views. Our views have gone up every single week since we started this. So, you know, as momentum goes, we should be doing like 10 million views about 6 months from now. That's what we're looking forward to. As always, I'm joined by Josh and Jacob. Josh, new features this week.
Listen, man, I feel like every time we start the podcast, it's like there's always going to be a new hashtag because something going on in my life. As you guys can see, I got braces now. So, you know, you can start the hashtag brace face KillaJosh, metal mouth KillaJosh, whatever y'all want to do, man. It don't matter. But, you know, I know you guys are going to troll me. Now it's 8K away, Josh. But, you know, I'm feeling pretty good. You know, it's just an adjustment I got to make. But so far, off to a good start with the XP grind. You know, we can't do 8K away, Josh. Make sure we get this card.
No one take two of that. Definitely don't want to take two of that. Jacob, man, I've been watching your streams this week. You seem to be having an up and down week on the game.
Yeah, definitely up and down, man. I don't even know what to think anymore. The skill-based matchmaking Unlimited just makes things not what it used to be, to say the very least, as far as that goes. So going through Unlimited has been something else this season, so I'm not quite sure what to think at this stage.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about skill-based matchmaking later because we haven't really touched on it on the podcast yet, but it is a hot topic. Guys, we're going to be joined by JD for like well over an hour today, so we're going to do the kind of typical interview stuff, but he's also just going to stick with us, and we're going to talk about the content and all that stuff as well. Speaking of Unlimited, AllThatJaz is official. I am 15-2 in Unlimited, which is the best start I've ever had. And it's funny because with Unlimited, like I got Iggy first time, and I've really struggled since. Like with Unlimited, I've just bounced back. My record is so good that me and Jacob share an account, and my record is better than his. So I think a hashtag average Jacob in the comments is the way forward. As always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe.
The hashtag not so notorious.
Yeah, I'm not so notorious anymore. Yeah, sure. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There's simple things you can do to help us. You know, we're a small podcast. We're trying to grow, and every subscribe goes a long way. I just want to wish Ty good health as well. I know he's had some health issues this week. Obviously, like I said, you know, last week he came on and we kind of broke our record for views. He did a lot for us a week ago. It's a shame that he got ill the following week, but you know, we want to make sure he's okay. Drop a comment. It's all about engagement. Remember, it's our team. It's not just me, Josh, and Jacob's team. It's all of us. So drop a comment, get involved. If anything you want us to discuss, let us know. And join the streams, guys. We are doing some crazy stuff on stream, like really different things. We did a live tier list last week. Did you see this, Jacob? Have you seen this?
Yeah, I did. I liked how you guys had it separated instead of like S tier, A tier. I like how you guys said like franchise player. I forget what the second one was.
Supporting
like
star.
6-man. Yeah, supporting star, and then like 6-man. Yeah, I like that better. It was actually kind of easier to like wrap my head around like the tiers when it's like that kind of almost like definitely better. I think to have those kind of wordings for each tier.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a value tier list this week, and I'm gonna basically like do it by brands. So like the best value player would be like a Louis Vuitton, and then you work all your way down to like
Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is your top tier brand. That's like the S tier brand. Louis Vuitton.
I wouldn't know is the answer. Like,
you know what? Yeah, I wouldn't know either. But I probably say Louis.
Yeah,
Louis is too damn expensive though. It's too damn expensive.
What do you think the worst take was by the community on that tier list?
I think the one thing I disagreed with for the most part, I think, was it Michael Jordan was over Hondo. Like, yeah, that just like, nah, we ain't going for that. I mean, I don't know, man. I've talked about it a lot. That Michael Jordan card, and once again, everything that I say about the game is about next gen. I just don't play current gen anymore. On next gen, that Michael Jordan card just really isn't it compared to a lot of the other two guards in the game. Like, if you disagree, I really can understand why you would disagree, but I feel like if you do disagree and play next gen, if you're on current gen, knock yourself out with MJ. I'm sure he's great over there. But if you disagree, I feel like you're really not looking past the shininess of the dark matter and MJ's bald head. Like, I think that you're just too overwhelmed there with what you're looking at, not actually what you're playing with. So
the weirdest one
you didn't
for
think
me,
about the Billy Cunningham take. You see how high they put him? That card is not that good.
Was he the supporting star?
No, they put him in freaking six man.
He ended up on the bench.
Six man or bench. I feel like he's ended the bench. He's a 6'6" power forward, small forward with no Hall of Fame clamps, no Hall of Fame range. Like, I'm like, what the? I was like, what am I seeing? His hot zone suck. He don't even have Pro 2. And everybody's like, oh no, he's good. That take kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
The funniest thing is, like, I loaded into the game. Like, the first time I played the game since the tier list, within 5 minutes I was on the Ascension board and I pulled Billy Cunningham. So I'm gonna try him now. I'm gonna get the truth. Let's see what the truth is, Josh.
Have you not tried him yet, Jess? Since you pulled him?
No. I was supposed to run him on stream last night, but I was trying to get Julius Randle. And he didn't pop up on the last 3, which was annoying.
I need Julius Randle.
But I didn't feel like Billy Cunningham would get me there, if I'm being honest. I was like, I can't run a decent squad. The worst take for me by a mile was Brandon Roy being over Galaxy Opal T-Mac, when Brandon Roy is a worse version of that Galaxy Opal T-Mac. Like, he's literally a clone, but slightly worse. And we put Brandon Roy over T-Mac.
I feel like they should just be in the same tier. It's not a huge gap between them. It's not a huge gap. Like, because I know some players in each tier, there's obviously some players better than others, but they still like on the same, tier.
Yeah, we're definitely getting to that point in the year where like the difference between a lot of cards is so minimal. Yeah. Like, so minimal. Like, so many people in my stream asked me last night, like, T-Mac, I literally had people asking me like T-Mac or DeRozan. Like, they're literally like practically carbon copies of each other. And like, so many people kept asking me Wilt and Kareem too. It's like, I don't know. You really can't go wrong with either. If you have Wilt or Kareem, like, you're set. Like, that's a preference thing. We're getting to the point where when cards have 40 Hoff badges, everybody's got their jump shot timing on quick. Everybody's got 90 and every important stat plus, if not more. It's like it really starts to become preference with a lot of these cards. So
yeah, for sure. We're definitely getting to that point. I thought we'd get here in May. It's early, I think, for where we've got to, because I was talking to people yesterday. They were like, "Oh, these aren't endgame cards. They're not endgame cards." It's like, how are they not endgame cards? If we've got cards out now with 40 plus Hoff badges, and the ability to add more Hoff badges, and the ability to add plus 10 coaches. Like, what universe are these not endgame cards right now? I mean, that's where we are, and there's 5 months left.
I think that it's fair to say that these cards will be like playable in endgame. Like, you could have definitely played like Weepy or T-Mac in endgame last year, but you probably would have been better off running a 7'3" shooting guard instead of T-Mac like Kristaps Porzingis when you had the ability to. Yeah. So it's like, it's like they'll find a way to one-up it, but it won't make it such a one-up that these cards that are being dropped right now will be like, if you're using them, you're screwed type of thing, Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the tier list we put together, I can't see a point by the end of the year where Kareem would be like in that bottom tier, right? At the very worst, by the end of the year, he might be end of bench or bench. Like, that really is the true indicator of whether these are endgame cards or not. I thought that tier list was fascinating.
He'll be end of the bench only if there's a GOAT Kareem out. That's the only way he'll be end of the bench if we get a GOAT Kareem or something.
Yeah,
which we will at some point. It's just not really a matter of if. It's kind of more of a matter of when,
When 2K need a bigger lunch, they will start popping those cards.
As if their lunch isn't big enough already.
Yeah, their lunch is pretty big. I mean, Jacob's eating as well. He's got shares, so yeah, the lunch is there. All right, guys. Well, like I said, we're doing things a bit differently this week. JD's obviously going to be on the podcast, but he's going to join us for like pretty much the entire podcast. We're going to talk through all the new cards. We're going to talk about what JD's up to as well. There's a lot of stuff from last week we missed as well. Like, there's cards we didn't even touch on. Like, we didn't speak about AK and Giannis. Like, we literally missed out loads of stuff. We really got into it last week. So we're going to catch up on all of that. But yeah, we're going to do things differently. It's actually quite a big weekend for JD, which I'll explain once we get him on. But guys, please welcome to the OurTeam podcast, JD Crossover. Hey JD, how's it going, man?
Hello, it was good. Good to be back.
Good to be back. Good to have you back, man. Like, yeah, we had a blast last time you were on. Matumbo Josh, it was that episode, right?
That was the episode. I'm never gonna forget that, man. Jeez.
Did you see the outtake that I posted on Twitter of that clip?
I did.
Every time I'm in a bad mood, I watch that back. Like, it literally cheers me up every single time. First things first, thanks for the raid, man, the other day. You completely threw me off. Like,
no worries.
Did you see my reaction?
Speechless? Yes, I did. I did. It was good. Yeah, better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, there's usually like 15, 20 people like in the stream. And I was like 5 minutes from logging off. And literally I was exhausted. I was like, I'm going to finish this game. I'm going to get out. And then bang, like 300 people like on stream. And I was, I soldiered through for another half an hour. It was good times. The car update. You did a vlog this week.
I did. My first ever one.
Yeah, it was really good, by the way. Yeah, I enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it as well. The litmus test for any content creator is if my wife enjoys the video as well. And she was like, that was one of my favorite videos I've seen. Like, it was so cool watching her talk about that. What's the latest on the car?
Latest is it's not officially mine anymore. It's been sold through an auction, so it's now gone to a new owner. And yeah, it's officially all done. Insurance has been paid out. Car's got a new owner, and that's kind of it. So now it's just about finding a new one.
On it, right? Were you going to try and bid on it?
I was thinking about it, yeah, but then I was like, I don't know what they've done to it, and I'm just going to let that chapter of my life sort of like go now.
This feels dirty. Does it feel?
Yeah,
dirty?
Exactly. Yeah, big time. So, yeah.
They did 500 miles, which is the length of the UK, right?
Yes.
What were they doing? Like, do you know? Do you have any miles? Yeah, they drove 500 miles in like.
The hell were they doing? Robbing banks?
I mean, they did end up robbing 2 places, yeah. So,
oh wow,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know. They put false plates on it, so like they weren't showing up on any cameras or anything like that. But I don't know how they got away with it. It's not a conspicuous car. It's pretty obvious to find.
Yeah,
we're gonna find them. The JD Mobile.
I mean, yeah, they're taking GTA roleplay way too seriously, wouldn't they? Like, for sure. I saw your high IQ play the other day on stream as well with Kareem. How much did you make on that flip?
So it was about 300k. So I bought a Kareem for 620, I think it was. Put Hall of Fame range on him inside the first sort of like 8 hours of the car coming out, and then it sold for just over 1 million, literally like 1,007,000 MT. I was like, all through show, I was like, if it's under 7 figures, I'm not happy. But thankfully, we got that 7,000, which pushed over a mil. So roughly after tax, it was like 300k profit. So not too bad.
I mean, you can buy him back for that now as well. Like.
Yeah, he's down like 300-400k, yeah.
Literally what he's going for. Cool. So yeah, we're gonna do things a bit differently this week. We're gonna just sort of talk, I guess, like for an hour and a half. We'll jump into all the other stuff. But the big thing for you, JD, is this weekend is like 1 year, right? Since you went full time with this. Am I right?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is the 1 year anniversary.
What are you doing to celebrate?
Romantic dinner, candlelit dinner, a case of 2K, or YouTube.
Maybe a stream with some romantic candles. Another stream day, to be honest.
we had the
tuxedo.
We had the shot stream, didn't we, for the 10K? That was entertaining to watch. Yeah. I mean, your mum was involved doing shots with you and all sorts. Like, yeah.
And we found out she has a pack addiction because she spent like 400k MT that day, and I was not happy.
Yeah, she got nothing.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah, she literally pulled nothing, right? Like it was
yeah, no, absolutely nothing.
All right, cool. So, guys, big news this week is someone's got J.R. Smith. That is, I haven't quite processed it yet. Like, I don't really know what to think of it. What's your thoughts? Because it's been a really mixed reaction from the community. Like, some people hate the fact that this has happened.
I'm not too like, I don't know. I feel like it's so rare and like so not happening to so many people that like it almost doesn't mean anything. Like, it's just a one-off thing. You know, I think like so far there's been one person that's actually like definitely for real had him on Xbox, nobody on PlayStation. So since it's so rare, I feel like it just kind of means nothing in the grand scheme of things, you know, so far anyways. Unless more people start getting that Ty Lue card, it's kind of like, Oh,
high-key
okay.
hating.
One guy got lucky. He won the lotto of Kailu, and now everyone else is just playing the game normally. Like,
I'm just high-key hating. I'm not gonna lie. 'Cause, like, you know, I just feel like they kind of owe it to me to give me Tyloo since I missed out on D-Rob being so close. And they should just,
That's on you.
No, that's on 2K. That's on 2K. They didn't give me enough time.
You fell asleep.
I fell asleep because this game's so bad. You know what I'm saying? I can't stay up.
Do you know this story, JD?
So, how close did you get to D-roll?
You really want to know?
Don't say like 500. I swear.
8K, man. 8K, 8,000. 8,000. It was the last day. I think I had like 4 hours left. Everything was like, I was cutting it close. Perfect time. I'm in the middle of a domination game. I'm playing. But like, I was up for 24 hours and I'm so tired. I'm like, don't close your eyes. My eyes aren't closing, but I just like my eyes, it's like I'm almost falling asleep with my eyes open. All I remember is waking up. I don't remember falling asleep. I just remember waking up like, oh my God, no. And I'm sitting here on the main screen, 3 hours left. I'm like, let's see what I could do to pull it off. I get like 8,000 away. I'm in the middle of a game. I get out the game. The new season starts. I'm like, oh God, I missed that.
Imagine grinding 142k XP for nothing. Did you get a good Hall of Fame badge? Or was it literally
gave me pick dodging?
Oh, you literally wasted
so bad. Hall of Fame pick dodger. Like, what am I doing with that? Like,
that is tough. Yeah, get on it this season. Like,
but we got it. I got a friend this time. Oh,
you got a friend. You got a grinding friend. That's good. My thoughts on the JR thing is, I think this whole season's fascinating. I like anything that's different. When something different happens, I think it's good because it's so monotonous. But JD, this is a good question for you because you made a play to be the first one for Wade, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's a lot of content creators that rely on the XP grind and sort of aiming to be the first. You know, it's kind of their key focus for that season. Who have kind of just had that taken away from them, right? Now it's just I'm just going to get him, and this is the process of how we're going to get there. What impact do you think that has on like smaller creators and things like that are really focusing on that as kind of a main content creation goal?
I think if people are actually like purely focusing on it as, you know, they're trying to get first, and obviously it's completely derailed that because people have already got him. Yeah. I think for like myself, I don't really mind. Like, I was maybe going to go for first because it was the first Dark Matter like reward card. I was maybe going to go for it, but even if I did, it wouldn't really have changed too much like if I didn't. So it's not really bothering me too much. I don't really like how I like what you say, like there's so much mystery around this season and there is so much new, and new is exciting, and that's good, and it's keeping people engaged.
Yeah.
But like I might be starting to get to that point where I'm just like, when they put the word dunk on Triple Threat Online, like, what do we have to do?
Yeah, I saw you yesterday, right? You literally played a game where you were just throwing lobs and dunked every game. I mean, these methods as well that are coming out now. There's nothing I love more than any 2K method. Like when someone puts anything out there that's like, if you do X, Y, and Z, you'll definitely get this card, and it's never ever happens. Like no method, TT offline, anything like that. It's funny, but you tested it out. No luck, right?
No luck. Did a full game of TTO, winning by 11 dunks, and nothing. So
did you see Julius Randle yet? I'm still trying to get this card, and I can't catch a break. Like, I don't even make it to the 10 games. That's the thing. Like, dudes, it's so weird on TT. Like, what do you I think they see YT in the name and just think it means something. They flash pause me. I'm like, bro, I don't like. If you want to win. But like, I want my Julius Randle. Like this kid, he was on the mic with me. He has Vince Carter, a silver, and emerald, and I'm running a ruby and two emeralds. He's like, I'm like, yo, bro, I'm just trying to get Julius Randle, you know? He said, I'm just trying to sell some MT. He's trying to sell some Mike Tyson, trying to sell some Mike Tyson to me. And he's over here, like, you think I'm going to want to buy from you after you done sat here and taunted me while I'm just trying to go for a player? He said, I don't even care about the open play. I'm just trying to sell some Mike Tyson. So then leave the game. Like, oh my God. Like, it's just so weird. Like, I just want Julius Randle, and they're making it so hard for no reason.
If you try and buy anything from somebody that you meet in a game of TTO online, you're just setting yourself up to get scammed. I cannot lie.
No, I wasn't entertaining him. I didn't entertain him at all. I told him, I said, no money spent this season, man.
I remember his prices were like, he was selling a million MT for like the price of a Happy Meal. I'm sure that's real. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure that's
like,
real.
yeah, thanks, man. I'm like, yeah.
I
got people that can vouch for me.
I was streaming last night. I mean, I was trying to get Julius. I've run the board 10 times. I haven't seen him. I properly looked like AllThatJaz on stream last night. It was funny. The funny thing is, I lost.
Like AllThatJaz.
I lost one game, and the one game I lost was to that Paul's cheeser, right? Who was like flopping and stuff. He was up by like 9, and he starts flopping on the court. He pulls cheese me a couple of times, and I pulled it back. I was literally up 19-18, and I missed a wide open like 3 with T-Mac.
That's on you. That's just get good. Get good.
The only game I wanted to win is the only game I lost.
Get good, Jazz. Get good.
I do need to get good. Luckily, Luka was there to save the rest of the run. Have you guys played Limited this weekend?
Yes, it's so weird.
One game and I was out. Dale can take over on that one. I am not doing that.
You done Limited, JD?
I've done, like Jacob, I've done one game and it was an experience. Devontae Graham went like 10 of 11 from 3. Yeah. Devontae Graham. And I was like, all right, well, that's how this weekend's going to be. But like you said, I kind of like it because it's just new and different and kind of exciting for that. I know you played 30 games. So for you, it's, the first part was good and then it got a drag. And I'm sure it'll be the same for me. But like where I'm at right now, I'm like, if I go into that, I know I'm not coming up against the usual 5 opals that are all speed boosting and 5 outing and carry sliding. And I'm not going to see that, which is refreshing.
Yeah.
But we've got gold cards pulling up from wherever. So that's
what's his name? What's that card? Everybody uses Damon Jones. That's the Star
Damon
Limited.
Jones.
I dropped 70 in a game with him.
Dropped 70 points. Somebody, why are you even? Why is the dude even staying that long to get 70?
It was a close game. I was just dropping all my shots through David Jones.
You know what I do to make people quit? Because I don't want the game to stay long. So I'm probably the dude you don't want to run into. I run a full court trap, like off rip. I'm not trying to play this game long.
Josh.
Yeah, bro. I'm like, because if I don't, we're gonna trade baskets and gonna play the whole game. I do that for 2 possessions. They always pause and they leave. I'm like, all right, good. But I don't get the ring. It's just
I played
tokens and
30
nonsense.
games of that garbage yesterday. 30 games. 30 games of gold cards. I literally lost my mind. I've never been that heated playing this game. Like the first couple of games, I was like, oh, this is quirky. It's fun. 28 games later, I was ready to put my head through the monitor. I was like, I cannot play another game of this. I got to 29 games. I was 26-3. I hadn't seen the ring. I put a post on Twitter going, I'm going to play 2 more games. If I don't get the ring, I'm done. It's the first limited reward I'm going to miss. And then the next game, I got it. But it was literally 4.5 hours of playing with gold cards.
So you think Rashard Lewis is going to be bad, but you're still going to get him?
I don't even know. That's the thing. I started questioning my existence at that point. Like, nothing made sense anymore. I'm like, why am I suffering through this? I don't want the card, but I've got FOMO, so I need to finish it. I was literally just going through the motions. Like, I was having a full-on breakdown playing Limited this weekend.
How could they even make him good? Like, how could they even make him good? He's like 6'10", right? 6'9".
Yeah, I mean, he's an opal, which is
one of the biggest things they could do. His opal last year could play the shooting guard if they mess his position and bring him back down to the 2 guard. Now you have the biggest shooting guard in the game. So if that's your style, where you like to have everyone on the court just be super big and long, like he might be your guy.
They would never help us out like that, especially with a limited card. Never. I learned to stop expecting things from limited cards.
I mean, Jaylen Brown was cool, and Paul Gasol was like reasonable, but I feel like with how many bigs they've dropped in the past 2 weeks, it's like he was cool for like a 3-day period, and then Kareem and D-Rob and Wilt and Mel Daniels took over.
That's the story of every limited reward. For about 3 days, for about 3 days, it almost seemed like it was worth it, and then you realize it really, really wasn't. And this week it wasn't. I played a guy. One of the games I lost, the guy had Phil Jackson. Like,
mad
for sure.
That would be the
he's
time.
Coming in weekend. Yeah, this weekend's coming in clutch.
Yeah, I mean, whoever locked in 3 million MT, that's what you locked him in for. Just so you know, that one weekend of.
So worth it.
Yeah, totally worth it. Yeah, got run a few gold cards over for 3 hours. I mean, I genuinely at one point was like I'd literally gone crazy. Like I'm not kidding. Like my wife was kind of asking me if I'm all right because of the way I was talking.
Probably you didn't even see it at all as well. I thought you got 30 games of like picking wrong a few times along the way, but not even seeing anyone. I think my limit's probably about 10. If I get 10 games and I don't get a ring, I'm like, you know what, 2K, you've won.
Yeah.
Won.
And then it's just one more game. It's like pack addiction, isn't it? It's just one more game, like one more pack. See how it goes.
I did like the fact they moved the quarters down to 4 minutes though, because
like
the one, like 2
that.
seasons ago for limited, the quarters are 4 minutes, and I think that's a good thing because like I don't think I would have made it through a game if it would have been 5-minute quarters of that, because like the pace is so slow and it's on rookie, so it's like I don't mind play now. Like I'll do like play now tournaments sometimes on Players Lounge, and like I'll use the Warriors. And now that the nets are so stacked, it's like all right, you kind of have to use the nets because the other person's gonna either use the late. So like those, it doesn't bother me that much not using the Dark Matters and Galaxy Opals of the world. But when it's like everybody on the floor is 80 below, like the speed of that game is so slow. Like I was honestly losing my mind just playing one game because like the pace of the game was so slow. I guess my attention span just wasn't ready for it. Like
forced turnovers, man. That's what I do. I don't even try to go it. Like I know whatever shot I take is gonna go in. I'm like, nah, you're gonna turn this ball over. Because I know a lot of people unlimited, they probably don't want to run into somebody who's sweating. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna make this as unenjoyable for you as it is for me. And we're just gonna wrap this game. We're gonna wrap this game up. I don't have the time today. You are
properly toxic, Josh, this week.
You gotta be limited. It's already like the sliders even before this weekend, they're already horrible. Like 50% covered layups are going in. People hitting contested smothered shots.
Bad. It was bad.
It's so bad. I'm just like,
you know what was funny? People were saying, "Oh, it's a really interesting week because it's like really tests out skill versus skill." I'm like, what are you talking about? It's on rookie for a start. Yeah,
please. I will take a fadeaway.
I was literally doing exactly what I would do with T-Mac with Damon Jones. I was just zigzagging up the court and shooting threes. Like, I was like, what is new here? Except more of them were going in because it's on rookie. Like,
unbelievable. And he don't even got range, and I'll still pull from range.
People hit 80% contested shots regularly. So, are you guys going to finish it? Are you ready? Are you ready to play again then? On limited?
I'll leave it to Gerard to do.
You're not going to play.
He tried. No, I played, but it's bad. I'll probably try again Sunday.
I share my account with Dale, and as bad as it sounds, I've learned that if I don't do something, I magically wake up one day and it's done. So Dale will get the hint eventually by tomorrow, I think, when he sees there's not a ring there.
You gonna stream it today, JD?
I'm gonna stream it tomorrow, and again, I'll maybe go to 10, depending on my sanity at that point. But I'm kind of like you. I'm like, I don't want to miss out on the Rashad, but I'm also like, we don't know. The only reason I want to keep up to date right now is because we don't know the stats and we don't know his animations and jump shot and whatever. If we knew that right now, I can make my decision. But until that point, I kind of want to be up and ready in case he is incredible, or like Jacob says, goes to shooting guard or something like last year. So I think just being prepared for it is the best thing to do. But
JD's Twitch link is in the description. I'm definitely going to be watching that tomorrow because if he has anything like the experience I did, that's going to be pure entertainment.
Wait, oh my gosh. Somebody came to the stream yesterday and what they said something. I guess they quoted something you might have said from you. Do you remember what it was, Jazz? I was so weak. It was like,
what was it? It was
speed boost.
Yeah. There was like a curse word at the end.
Is that from my stream?
Yeah.
I think so because we had mentioned you were coming on. You know what it is.
Yeah, I can't say it.
That's actually one of the questions I got. I don't think there's anyone I'm more aligned with in the community in terms of how I feel about Unlimited right now than you. When I watch you stream, it's like I'm hearing myself. Like everything, the full court press, the speed glitching. Every time some nonsense happens that shouldn't be in the game, you call it out. You will never let it slide even once. And like Jacob, you said you're having issues as well, right? On Unlimited. I've been having a rough time the last couple of months. Like, how do we make?
I don't even play it anymore. I'm in the silver tier. I don't even play it anymore.
Yeah, you've just written it off, haven't you?
I've had a very up and down week. Like on Monday, I streamed, and like the whole entire time, I was just like saying like I hate this. I was like pointing out everything that was going wrong. So like Tuesday when I fired up, I'm like, all right, today we're only saying good things about 2K, guys. So every time that anything would happen, I'd just be like, oh man, I love that animation. Like, just saying only good things. And it actually,
I think I left a comment saying I want 2K's babies. Like,
What you say? You say you want 2K's babies?
We were only allowed to leave positive comments about 2K in the chat.
As dumb as it sounds, it actually made the game more enjoyable that day. But I could only keep up that little fake thing for about 3 hours, and by the end of it, I was like, I wasn't able to muzzle myself anymore.
I laugh, man. I just laugh. Like I had a wager I played last week. And oh man, this game is amazing. This game is so good.
Yeah, you lost by one, didn't you? $100.
Lost by one with a yo. When I tell you, every possible white that could have went in for this man. I don't have Phil Jackson. I'm literally greening with everybody with Gatorade on, and I lose by one.
Tough.
The one thing I could say about wagers or tournament style stuff, I think that it's a lot better than Unlimited because for one, you can play on Hall of Fame, which makes at least some sort of difference. Obviously, it's not like a world of a difference.
It reduces the full whites at least for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. And then also you play best 2 out of 3. Like I played like 5 or 6 wagers, not last week or the week before, and I was just on a roll. And every single wager, I would lose the first game, and then for the last 2 games, I'd win. And every time I was like, all right, guys, I'm lost the first game. This keeps happening to me, but we're gonna bounce back, and then I'd win. So it's like you just like have a little bit more of a wiggle room where if 2K decides to really not go in your favor one game, which Lord knows that happens, like you've got a little bit more wiggle room if you're playing a best 2 out of 3. And
that's the thing we did. We played the first game. I feel like there was a certain point so I could have pulled away and won, but I did because I took a lot of bad shots. But the second game, to lose by 1 and like I was. You
had his number. That's the thing. As soon as you figured him out, the game was over.
I literally had if we go into overtime that game, I win the series. I literally win the series. That's like.
All right, let's talk about Unlimited. So JD, last time you came on, you took that stance on your island, right? Which is Algo doesn't exist.
Yeah, still on that island on my own, man.
Love it. Respect it. I respect it. The new theory is skill-based matchmaking. I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago. The video popped off, actually. It was my best performing video ever. And the entire comments were just flooded with, yes, this exists. It absolutely exists. It absolutely exists. Everyone's kind of quoting the same timeline, which was 4 weeks ago. And I kind of gave the obvious arguments to it in that video, right? Which is, people say, oh, cards have got better. That's why it feels leveled out. I mean, but everyone's cards have got better. Skill should still make a difference. People say, oh, but Ty wins every game. I'm like, well, Ty literally beat the whole world. Like on a level playing field a few weeks ago, if you didn't notice. Ty as an argument to skill-based matchmaking has got to be one of the funniest arguments ever, right? Like the most skilled guy in the world is an argument to skill-based matchmaking. Like that makes perfect sense. I know Jacob believes in it because I literally spoke about him in the video because he was the day before I made that video, he was literally tanking on stream.
I finally watched the video the other day too. Finally.
Did you? Yeah. Does it exist, JD?
I haven't really played Unlimited that much to really know. Like this season, all I've done is 1 game of Unlimited. I didn't really enjoy that, so I was like, I don't really want to play this anymore. And then last season, I got to the Opal tier. I tried to go 12-0. I got 1-0, and then I lost my second game. And I was like, well, that was that. Yeah. And then I think I played like 2 more games after that. I think last season I finished 3-2 in the Opal tier, and that was it. And then, and then 2K did that glitch thing where they just reset everybody at 11-0 if they had their records reset. Yeah. So I played 1 game and got Cedric Matt as well.
Yeah, you got blessed with that.
This is the same 2K that's been saying for 6 months. I literally have an email from them. From the Patrick Ewing thing saying that we cannot change unlimited records. And then they changed unlimited records. Did they just lie to me? Am I a mug right now?
Make a video called 2K is a bunch of liars and pull up the receipts. Exposed. 2K exposed.
I think overall though, like obviously it's kind of like condescending, but I think that's a good thing that they did to like fix the whole community. Pretty much like everybody who got reset was able to get bounced back up. And the reason why I say that is because I totally expected them to do nothing. I expected just radio silence, them just be like, tough luck, just like what happens in your situation where they normally say we can't change your unlimited records, or if you get an error code, they're just like, sorry, like that's sorry.
So
that's
wait.
like all they can say, like, but
This makes me think, like, y'all remember during 250K they was getting all these error codes. You remember how they were able to find out somebody wasn't on their account. So they can do all of this, find out somebody is not using the actual account.
Yeah.
But they can't do anything with the people error coded.
Well.
That's a little weird to me. I'm not gonna lie. That's a little weird to me. Like error code, like who got error coded and was close? I think it was TJ every day. I remember. I think it was like I heard like the first qualifier.
Quite a few people
got error coded. Yeah. And he just was like, I'm not doing this anymore. Like,
I mean, it does make sense on the front that like they probably realistically with the way the game is, they probably get emails at least every hour, if not probably more often, saying, hey, I got an error code, can you look into this? And it's probably not that they can't look into it, it's probably that they can't have the personnel to be working on fixing that for 100 different people a day.
Not if you're number one with like 30 minutes left.
It's different in 250K. 250K, it's like, yeah, they probably should. But then at that point, what do? Do they boot out somebody who would have
just put him back in the tournament? No, just put him back in. Like, if you got error coded and you won the game, just put him back in the tournament. Like, that's not even like to add points. Put him back in the tournament, see how they do from there. Like, that's the most you can do. Especially if you that like if the dude is number one and the tournament is by the end. Come on, like. Who knows? If you'd have been a tournament, probably been a whole different tournament.
Yeah, it's probably just a little bit too time crunching in 250K. It's probably not something where they can just go and click a button and just have somebody back in the tournament. And I think they outsourced the 250K qualifiers on the tournament itself to be ran by a totally different company. So it's like on that front, I don't even think that's 2K's doing. Whether or not 2K should be outsourcing their own $250,000 tournament, that's another discussion. But you know.
Yeah, I mean, hand over the blame, outsource it. I mean, yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, it wasn't us. We weren't doing it. That's the answer.
Yeah, you know what? When that happened to me, they had the audacity to email me a week later, like, "Oh, we can't do anything about you getting back in town." Like, well, no, no, duh, it's done. Like, it ended a week ago. What are you even emailing me back for? Bunch of jokes, man.
Did I ever tell you guys about the one time that I actually put in a complaint to 2K? It was honestly, it was just pathetic. Like, let me walk you through how it went. So, I was about to get Ewing. I was literally in Galaxy Opal tier. I think I was, what was I, 4-0, 5-0? I don't know, something like that. But I felt very confident that I was going to get it. It was late in the season because I didn't start playing Unlimited like this year until like a week before the end of the Ewing season. So I just thought I'd try and run through it. Anyway, I got error coded, like first. I reset, went back. I was like 2 or 3-0, and then I lost the game. No, I won the game. I got rage quit and was given a loss for it. So then that happened. So I've got all of this stuff like recorded, right? I'm a content creator, so I record pretty much everything I do. So I contact them, and they're like, "Can you send us a screenshot?" I was like, "I can send you a video if you want." And they were like, "No, just send us a screenshot." I was like, "Okay, cool." So I sent in a screenshot, of all those different incidents. I was like, I don't know how that's helpful because it doesn't tell you what league I was in or anything, but there's a screenshot of an error code. And then he contacts me about 3 days later and he's like, "Actually, can we have the videos?" I was like, "Okay, cool." So I sent him the videos.
Jabronis.
Then he contacted me and asked for screenshots again. Like, literally, this is where we were at. We went round in this circle. And then after about 7 days, I got like an auto email from them going, "You haven't heard back from us. And we haven't heard back from you. So this case will be closed if you don't respond to this email." So I responded going, "What the hell? Like, can I have my Ewing, please?" And then he said, "Oh, just ignore it." So he messaged back going, "Oh, you'll get these emails every 7 days. Just ignore it. We'll get back to you. We're working on it." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I've escalated it and all this stuff." I was cool. 7 days later, same email. I responded again because I didn't want to risk it. And he literally got like snarky with me. He was like, "Can you stop responding to these emails, please?" I was like, "Okay, cool." Fine. 7 days later, I got the same email. I ignored it and never heard anything since.
That is so
like
bad.
It's just unreal. I literally had video evidence, and they're kind of one thing they said to me is that we can't change unlimited records. Yeah. And now suddenly, miraculously, everyone's 11-0. Their customer service is shocking.
Yeah, that's how it's always been, and like, I went through the same thing. Last year I was 11-0. Obviously, I streamed the whole 12-0 run. It was for the last season of the year, so it wasn't even a big deal because like Oscar Robertson GOAT card, like I got Ben Simmons who can tween. Like you think I'm using Oscar? No, but like I'm on stream getting them anyways. You know, I'm in my 11th game. I'm up 21-12 at the end of the first quarter. I'm singing on stream, you know, I'm like, yes, sir. Like it's time. Like we're getting a miss over. And then like I get air coded when I'm 11-0, flooding a dude. And now I'm 11-1 and reset. And like the whole entire thing was obviously recorded. I was streaming it, sent it all in, and they're just like, no, we can't change unlimited records, yada, yada, yada. And like, truthfully, at that point in time, I was like, whatever. Like, I don't really care. I'm pretty much done with this game anyhow.
Yeah. I mean, if it's going to happen, that's the best point in some
I wasn't playing in August. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I didn't even look.
The best thing to do is just not even expect or hope that 2K can change anything. Like I've been error coded, I think, in 2K19 on a level low game where I've got out of the game, it's loading up the menus, then it error coded and it counted as lost. I didn't send it into 2K because I was like, you know what, they're not going to do anything. I'm not even going to waste my time with it. I'm just going to accept it and move on. I think that's like how you have to be with this game. If something happens, you just got to know that it's done and it's not going to get fixed or changed in any way, shape, or form.
It's funny you say that. I've got one video planned this week, which is 10 issues with MyTeam that we've become completely numb to, and it is literally that, right? How many issues have we just literally just gone? It's just part of the game. Like, what a game, 2K. But we've given a loss. Like the screen froze at 70%. Like. How many things? Like, there's so many issues. Like, we've just literally just taken it in our stride now. And you're right, because you have to. Because if you don't, if you get angry about that every time, you're buying a new controller every week. Like,
just laugh, man. I just laugh when stuff like when bad things happen. Like, when bad things in the game happen, I just laugh. Like, playing the Hall of Fame, 80% coverage shot goes. You remember that, Jazz? The shot that kid. I just got away from my screen, started laughing. I'm like, I just started laughing. I'm like, this is hilarious. Like,
80% contested limitless 3 on Hall of Fame.
Oh my gosh, man! I just laugh, man. I just laugh. You know,
JD, when you spoke about Algo, you said the argument to Algo was RNG, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is basically this season. Right, I'm literally calling this the RNG season. Like, it really is. And again, this is like massively divisive, right? Like, some people really like it, some people don't. There's a part of me that thinks like if you're getting lucky with it, like then you like it. Like if you're getting into the glitch market and things like that, and if you're not, you hate it. Like, that's where it is. I really like it. Like, I really like it. I love the unpredictability of it. I haven't got in the glitch market. I haven't got JR Smith. I haven't got any of them. I haven't got OG either. Do you like it? Do you think it's a good concept this season?
I think I'm kind of in that pool that's like torn between it. Like, I do like the idea of something being there, but I don't like the fact that it was advertised as such a big thing before the season, and then it's just like a glorified vault that's even harder to get.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's a good point.
I like that it's there, and I like that people are getting it. And like I said, the people that like this season are probably the people that are getting it. But if it gets to the end of the season, and like 95% of people haven't got it, then the fact that they advertised it as a huge thing this season and that many people don't get it kind of makes it seem like a bit of a dud. But hopefully at some point everybody gets a shot at it. I don't know, but yeah, I guess it's good that after every game you do have a chance of getting something different and exciting. But
yeah,
now I'm expecting it though, and then when I don't get it, I'm disappointed. That's the only reason I'll play the game. Like I'm
that's the worst thing.
I just play. Like I don't even play this game with any. Well, only expectation is a glitch market, but like when I play the game, I probably could play for like an hour straight the most, and after that I'm just checked off. I'm like, I don't want to play this game no more. I get on something else. Like,
well, it's like twice the disappointment now, isn't it? Like, you saw me on stream yesterday. I ran the board on TTO. Like, Julius Randle didn't pop up, and the glitch market didn't pop up. So it's just twice as disappointing as it used to be. I used to be only annoyed that I didn't get Julius. Now I'm like, where's my OG as well? Like,
OG, I want to see that Tyronn Lue come up, man. I don't care about nothing else. I don't care about them other cars. I need that Tyronn Lue.
I think
I'd take Taco over Tyler. I don't know about you guys, but if I had a choice of which one to pick out of the glitch market, I'm probably taking Taco full, because I know
all you gotta do is play with Tyronn.
But yeah, I agree, JD. I agree. The thing that I would like to find out is at the end of the season that there was a clear, even if it doesn't get solved between now and then, I want to find out that there was like a clear-cut way to do this, like to get into the glitch market. Like if we find out They're like, oh, somebody cracked the code. What you had to do this weekend was score 1,000 dunks on TTO online. Even something if it's egregious, I just want to find out that there was more to it than just straight up RNG, because they like kind of like advertise it as like this mystery, solve the puzzle like type thing, which really isn't my type of thing anyways. Like, you know, I don't really want to do like a scavenger hunt when I'm playing 2K. I just load up and play. But like, I want to find out that there was some clear cut black and white way to make it all tie together. Even if nobody solves the mystery, I want to find out that there was a mystery, because
even if
it's
just odds, like what was the odds, right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because like just if it's totally random and it was actually the whole entire mystery was 1 out of 1,000 people are gonna get into the glitch market after each game, like that's kind of lame to me. But if it was like, oh, you guys just didn't figure it out, but the actual method was you had to use X player and do Z thing in Y game mode or whatever, like then that'd be cool, you know. But if nobody finds out, I mean,
I think it was HTB, wasn't it, that put up a post saying like, if like Tyronn Lue was like a one-time thing, or if Taco's done now, can you just tell us so we don't just keep chasing this for the rest of the season? Like, I think that
it's a brilliant thing by 2K, because right now as we speak, there's definitely people mindlessly staying on the game to try and get to the glitched market. It was a brilliant way to keep people on the game from 2K. At the very least, like it's a very good idea from a marketing standpoint.
I mean, their whole strategy
could not even keep me on this damn game. There's nothing in the world to keep me on this.
Yeah, it's definitely not selling me either, Josh. But like from an overall standpoint, it was a good idea by 2K to keep people engaged for sure.
Yeah, Jacob, I agree. Like 2K's incentive this year really has been, especially if you compare it to last year, is to get people to basically no life this game, right? There's always something. Like we've got the XP agenda, which really is, you know, all encompassing just on its own if you did nothing else. Like you play every game mode. Then you add in Unlimited, which is 68-0 or whatever. Like that's just such a huge leap from where we were last year. Then we've got Limited, which, you know, takes up 4 hours of your weekend and makes you have a mental breakdown. And then we've got Spotlights, Domination. It's like, as soon as there's like a moment, I felt this more than once. Tell me if you agree. There's a few times where I feel like I kind of got a couple of days to chill. Like I know I'm ahead on the XP, like I'm where I need to be Unlimited, and then they drop something else, right? Domination drops out of nowhere, Spotlights drop out of nowhere, then I'm suddenly back on the game. Like there really is an incentive to no life this game. I think this glitched reality concept plays into that at a whole other level, right? Because it's the first time there's never a moment where it's not worth playing the game, because you might end up getting this random RNG reward. Do you think glitched reality is just kind of another layer of 2K wanting us to spend maximum time on this game?
100%. Yeah. I mean, you've kind of already got a hint of this when they dropped Terry and when they dropped Kermit in the vault. They're coming up with reasons for people to stay on the game, which I guess in theory is a good thing, especially because that's what a lot of people asked for. Last year, you know, people were done with Kobe grind or whatever it might be, and obviously no new dominations came out. You could go 12-0 the first day if you were a pretty good player, and there just wasn't that many things to do. So people said, hey, we need more reasons to play this game, and they took that and they times it by 1,000,000. And like you said, there's really no reason to like, you know, there's always a reason to play right now to get in the glitch market for a lot of people. For me personally, I really don't care that much. Like I get Taco Fall, cool. Is he gonna play over Kareem? I don't know, maybe, probably not. I mean, is he gonna play over Wilt? I sold him, but hypothetically, maybe, probably not. And like he's the best one in there, right? So like, and the XP seems pretty easy to come by, so I'm not really stressed about getting that tile loot either way. So for me personally, really don't care that much. But for most people, I can totally understand why they would, you know.
I mean, you're account sharing as well, which is like a common thing now, right? Like I did that with Jacob, you did it with Dell, even Josh has got a friend now. There's a lot going on. JD, question: like, how much time do you think you spend playing on this game is by choice, and how much time do you think is because you feel like you have to?
I mean, I never play this game off stream, so I never like choose to like relax and just load up the game with 2K. That doesn't really happen. Like the only time I play 2K is either on video or on stream. I think it is out of, I guess, a choice that you can't really fall behind. And it is good in a way, but they really do alienate like any casual players. Like this game is just for like hardcore, no life basketball fans, all of us four included. Like,
agreed.
There's no casual.
I wish it was like this when I was younger. That's nice to know life. And I only played on. I was only allowed to play Friday through Saturdays. The hours I spent on the game when I was younger, if they had like the XP agenda around that time, I would be a full blown sweat. I would be on from the morning till night. I would have every XP reward. That's why I'm a little upset that they. Well, I'm not upset. I just wish it would have been this one. Actually,
D-Rob by 8K.
It happened. But look, I miss D-Rob. But then look, they got Kareem. They got Wilt coming out. It's Wilt with Hall of Fame.
I love how you say that when you don't have either of those cards. Like,
I'm not gonna get them, but still, it leaves me options. Like if I want to get MT, I don't need to have them.
Still
I
out there
got
running Pau Gasol.
So I don't even have them. I got a Hall of Fame badge.
Yeah, I find it interesting. Like I agree with what all of you guys have said. Basically, like they took the idea, and last year, I would say 80% of the time I played last year, I was playing for fun, right? Unless it was spotlights, something like that, domination maybe. But I enjoy spotlights and domination as well, to be honest. Like especially last year when it broke up the monotony of like playing online, just playing unlimited. So there was a huge proportion of my time I spent on the game playing for fun. Now it's probably about 20%, if I'm honest. Like while I'm on the game playing for fun. I mean, me trying to get 10 dunks with Simbula is not something I would choose to do.
Oh God, I hated that challenge. That was for Wade, right? That was during the Wade grind. Oh man, that was.
And even limited this week, like I said, I had such a rough time with it. I always play more limited. Limited is the thing I do every week for fun, right? Once I've got the ring, I keep playing because it is fun. There's no consequences. It is casual gaming. There's some good rewards in there. I've stacked millions of MT for playing limited on each weekend, and I don't even want to do that this week. And I'm sitting there going, like, do I suffer through another 3 hours of playing with gold cards and I hope that I get another reward? It is a weird psychology this year. Like they really have dialed it up to 1,000, haven't they? Like you have to be on the game 24/7. And I think it becomes priorities, right? Like what's the most important thing? Because people like us, we're content creators. We're going to do all of it one way or another, whether, we get someone else on our account to do it or we do it all like JD does. JD, you need a friend. Find a friend. to grind. What do you think is the most important mode? Is it like XP probably, right? Is the key mode, but then I don't even know if that's the case this season because I don't think JR is going to be that valuable. Like, how do you see the game modes ranking? What are the priorities, you think?
The rewards you get along the way for doing XP are definitely, I mean, if you get lucky, RNG, good times. If you get like the Essential board and you get lucky on that, like the top level, you get a couple of diamond shoe packs, diamond consumable packs, whatever, a couple of packs, you might get lucky. Get the Hall of Fame badges along the way. If you get something lucky in that, you can put that on a player and make some profit. I would say doing that as a sort of aside to grinding a specific game mode, just making sure you can get XP in it. Because you can get XP just by playing the game. Like you don't have to really go outside of your way to do it. You don't have to buy all the opals, especially this year. I think you can do it. Or this season, I think you'd probably be able to do it without even buying like any pink diamonds.
Yeah,
honestly,
it's got easier every season, right?
Yeah.
This
I know.
season,
I think that's because,
DBG said he did the whole grind for D-Rob without spending more than 30K on a card. So,
wait, DBG went for D-Rob?
Yeah, he got him. It was his first season card he got.
Did you see this, JD? He came on the podcast. He was like, there's two things I would never do. The first one is qualify for 250K, and the second one was do the XP grind. And he did both of them within a week.
Yeah, both of them.
Both of them within a week. Yeah, I mean, this season's XP grind is a joke. Like, I put a few hours into it. I'm at like 40K. Yeah. I mean, if you've never done the XP grind, just do it this season.
Well, that's the reason why I think. Do you guys remember back in season 3, I believe it was, where at the original blog post that the devs had or whatever, it said that they were going to add additional levels for 41 through 45. Yeah. I think that we might see that this season, especially considering the whole Ty Lue thing, especially considering the fact that people already have JR, and we've already seen. They talked about accelerating XP last season. They really accelerated XP this season because, like you said, it's like they came out and normally at the end of the season, XP is like juiced where it's like challenges reward you for more than they did at the start of the season. We've already seen like the typical end of season type XP rewards where you're getting 1250 right off rip for the top set for one challenge for the card and et cetera, et cetera. So it's really easy to get XP. So that's what I'm thinking. Me believe that they had that idea to expand the levels from 41 to 45 later in the season, back in season 3. They thought about it. They were like, oh, maybe it wasn't ready to put in the game yet. Maybe they felt like it just wasn't the right time to do it yet. I think this might be the season where they actually do that, where maybe 2 weeks from now, there's some sort of mystery way of going about unlocking additional levels. And then maybe that level 45 card is something where people are like, oh my goodness about, because like I don't think that J.R. Smith is really at that same level for the time compared to the other level 40 cards we had, because like J.R. Smith, don't even know if he would play over Luka. Definitely want to play over Pistol Pete.
What did you just say?
What did you just? This is literally my next question.
What did you just say about Luka and JR?
I mean, they have better jump shot base on Luka, so like, you know, as me, the way I play
jump
personally,
shots mean nothing to Josh.
I'm gonna be using Luka probably over JR just based off of.
JR Smith has one of the best bases in this game.
I mean, like, it's not bad, don't get me wrong, but like if you go on 2K Labs Premium and look at like the green window, the release timing and all that stuff, like that base isn't like considered to be what an Exum base or Allen base or 98 or even Wall base is, you know.
Wait, you said John Wall's base is good, right?
So like personally, I don't like it, but statistically speaking, off of like 2K Labs data, it's
2K Labs data shows it's a good. Oh, okay. I just wanted Jazz to hear that.
Can I walk you guys through why this is funny?
Oh, okay.
So we did the tier list the other day, right? And like I said, we ranked them in kind of like an interesting way, right? We had that franchise star, like the best player on your team that you're going to kind of run through. Supporting star, which is like the Pippin to the Jordan, right? And then we had sixth man and we had bench. So we had them like how you would utilize them on a team. And I wanted Luka in franchise. The chat wanted him in supporting star. John Wall was starter or sixth man, somewhere around there. So Luka basically came above John Wall. Josh lost his damn mind for 25 minutes saying that John Wall's better than Luka. And then the funniest thing, he literally put a poll up on Twitter yesterday. Like he kind of put his big boy pants on, kind of puffed out his chest and went, let's settle this, and put a poll up. And he was the only one who voted for John Wall.
I couldn't even vote on I couldn't even vote.
You couldn't vote. Okay, one person voted for John Wall over Luka. Is John Wall better than Luka, guys?
Yes.
No.
Only thing you could say is Luka's height. There's nothing else, like literally nothing else.
No, it's the Exum base. Like for whatever reason, I don't understand why
His
the wall
jump
base.
shot.
Yeah, no, I mean like is somebody like if you're a type of dude that wants to like rim run with your point guard, then he might be the guy for you. Like let's be honest, Luka, you know, he probably isn't gonna poster people all game long. But I think if you want to rim run with your point guard, like I said, Wall might be the guy for you, but you probably should just use Magic.
I 3-hunt. I don't.
Yeah, see, but the thing is, like, nobody, if you talk to like these guys who are really the best 300s in the world, you know, the Pro-Am heads, the guys that are point guards on Pro-Am are obviously the best 300s in the world, you know, the Splashes of the world, the Breezes, the Definitives, people like that, you know, like they're not out there 3-hunting with
Luka cannot get you stops the way Wall can. Like that's my whole thing. Like John Wall can literally do everything Luka can. Only thing Luka has going for him over John Wall is literally shooting. What else can you do better than John Wall?
Well, you're not really going to get a stop on anybody with anyone 6'3", though, either. Like
6'3" or 6'4"?
6'4", big player model, et cetera, et cetera. It's really...
It does matter.
It's not 6'7". It's not 6'7".
6'7" with gold clamps. 6'7" with gold.
There's so many Lukas in circulation with Hoff clamps now, though. Yeah, there's so many. You can pick up a Luka with Hoff clamps for pretty cheap.
When we rank them, we're talking about the base cars. The base cars. John Wall comes with clamps and Hall of Fame range and Showtime. Luka got Hall of Fame range, Showtime, gold clamps.
JD,
I just feel like at this point in the year, everybody is so
if you're on current gen, the gap is much closer. If you're on current gen, the gap is much more close. On next gen, it's like Luka's quite better than Wall.
JD,
I haven't used John Wall, but I have used a Luka Doncic with Hall of Fame clamps, and he was brilliant, and I loved him. So I don't know, I like that Luka card. I would definitely buy him back, but I don't know if I'm
clamps. You need that though. Like Jazz out here using him with gold clamps, and we're telling me to
clamps, how much better than John Wall is he?
He's better. It's not. I'm not gonna say it's a huge difference. He's better than him. He's better than him. If he has whole clamps.
Better than Luka.
So the thing about Luka with no,
I've never seen someone die on a hill like that.
You just have to like. Obviously, you don't want Luka guarding ball anyways because you want to keep his stamina. up so he can 3-hunt and run your offense for you. So like it was easier in season 5 to hide Luka on defense than it is now, because in season 5, a lot of times I would run him next to Kawhi. Kawhi's guarding the opposing team's point guard, getting bumpy, and then Luka would just go guard a wing and kind of just stand there. But the problem now is a lot of people have T-Mac at the 2. So if you run into a team that has Luka at the 1, T-Mac at the 2, it's much harder to guard a Luka without gold clamps. But if you find one with half clamps, you slap them on T-Mac, and you just, you're not getting to stop.
That's literally the point I've been trying to make.
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Because like I know a lot of people like to hide their point guards, especially if you want to run your offense to your point guard. Me, if my point guard has Hall of Fame clamps and he's like at least 6'4", or the only exception I would give is Juan Carlos Navarro, because he is just cracked on defense and offense. That's the only exception. I wouldn't switch matchups. But like if I can't even put you on the shooting guard and you can't give me, why are you playing on my team? No, get out of here. No.
Well, Josh, I gotta tell you something, man. John Wall ain't getting a stop on T-Mac.
Oh no, yes he is. Yes he is. I don't know what John Wall y'all be you. Yes he is. Yes he is.
However this ends up going.
Nah.
Yes he is.
You putting Luka in the 4th tier is something you're never going to live down in our community. I just want to make that clear.
No way, bro.
4th tier. That's where you had him.
He's so overrated. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. He's overrated. Like base Luka is overrated. Y'all
going to like Breezy stream or definitive stream, and you're gonna see him just side with Luka, bang, quick stop down the court every single time.
Does Luka have Hall of Fame
so green with the card? I've never been so green with the card.
Yeah, most people.
Let's move on.
Buys one with half clamps. You can pick one up with like half clamps for like an extra like 50 to 100K, because there's a lot of them, because most cards come with half clamps now. So anybody who is holding on to that half clamps badge really has no choice but to slap it on Luka and sell him back to make a little bit of profit.
Jazz, you hear that? Get a Luka with Hall of Fame clamps, and then he might start.
Go get D-Rob, then talk to me.
Right, let's get Luka with Hall of Fame clamps, and then we might start him.
We're going to trust the judgment of someone who fell asleep 3 hours before D-Rob.
That has nothing to do with Luka Doncic not having Hall of Fame clamps.
I'm liking this energy this week, guys. I'm liking this energy.
There's no Hall of Fame clamps for Luka.
You should have seen him die on. He died on like 3 hills on that stream. I can't wait for the next one. The next tier list is going to be hilarious, because I'm literally going to set it up to troll Josh. Right, let's get into content. Dark Matter. Wilt, what's our thoughts?
Overrated.
That's
set shot.
He's good.
I'm not saying he's not good, but that set shot is what's the point of giving me a center with Hall of Fame? That's the same reason I didn't like Kevin Garnett. Not to say he had a set shot, but his release was kind of weird, so I was not shooting with him. Why give me a play with Hall of Fame range if I'm not even going to be shooting with him that much?
Where'd you rank him in centers right now?
I haven't used him. I haven't seen his jump shot. I know that Wilt's jump shot in like every other year is not very good. So I imagine he's not going to be at the top, but maybe top. He's got to be top 5 just because of his stats and badges. Like even if you're just running him purely defensive and like attacking the rim, even if you don't shoot with him and you only shoot when you have to, he's still going to be exceptional. So I'll probably say, I don't know, top 5. But like I say, until I use him, we'll see about it.
I think he's 3 out of the centers right now.
I think he's 4.
If any of you guys used him at all,
who's above him?
D-Rob, Kareem, and Giannis.
Giannis? You consider Giannis is not a center. He starts. Oh,
Josh! Every week you say that.
That's the thing. But center, that's the position, though.
Position is center.
Exactly. Giannis is not a center.
He's listed as a center, power forward, primary center.
I thought he was power forward. Oh, okay.
Every week you change your mind. We have the same conversation.
No, I do not change my mind. It's the same thing. Because I thought Luka was a shooting guard, and you told me he was a point guard, and I said, okay, that changes things.
Yeah.
So I used Wilt last night for about 6 games, and I'll tell you, this is jump shot. Yeah, I hit a game winner with him. His jump shot ain't a problem. I hit a corner 3 to win the game with him. His jump shot isn't the problem whatsoever. The things that are good about him is he moves dumb fast. Like my D-Rob at 99 speed with the shoe does not feel like Wilt with 99 speed at all. He moves dumb fast. But for whatever reason, when I was using him, he almost felt so fast to a fault. Like he wasn't very responsive. I felt like if I had my controller and say I went to the left with him, it felt like he'd be already going so fast in one direction that when I went over on the left stick or something like that, he'd move now. Like it was almost like he was out of control almost, which hypothetically I thought would be a good thing. But when I was running with him, he got plucked a lot. Pro 3 behind the back on him is incredible, but he just didn't feel as solid and sturdy as like a Kareem. And for me, my centers really don't need to do all that. Most of my centers are come set this pick, come grab this rebound type thing. And like, he didn't seem to do as well on defense as far as just like getting
really
ridiculous snatch blocks like you'd expect on him with his 8-foot wingspan. I'd jump with him to block a shot, and he would literally go flying 11 feet in the air, but for whatever reason, he wanted to grab the ball. Like, he's a very like
kind of
cool
like the perfect
card.
current gen card.
But considering that we have Kareem, and then we have D-Rob and Mel who are free, you can use Giannis as one of the bigs. It's kind of like if this card would have came out 2 weeks ago, I would have lost my mind. But since we have these other free cards like D-Rob and Mel Daniels, Kareem's half the price, maybe not half, but he's cheaper. And I find him to be just like more in control and better on defense, surprisingly, because last year I thought Wilt was better on defense.
Yeah, I mean, you want Wilt to be, I mean, at the very least, you want him to be dominant defensively. Yeah. All right, let's get into DeMar, because I don't entirely agree with the take that's kind of the general consensus.
I think it's a current gen card.
Is DeMar just a simple replacement for T-Mac, do you think?
I don't know. I think they've both got, I mean, DeMar can't curry slide, can he? As far as I'm aware, he can't curry slide, and
he can. They changed his SIGs after he came out yesterday. JD, they changed his SIGs. Yep.
What jump shot did they give him? Was it X and base?
Trey Burke base, so it's the same shot as T-Mac.
He's got T-Mac's jump.
Yeah. He's essentially got the same SIGs as T-Mac, except they gave him shifty dribble style instead of quick, which is essentially the same thing. You know, they're both the top two. So
is he?
He's going to be about half the price. I think he'll probably settle at around 250, 300, and T-Mac's probably going to be still at about 500. So for the sake of 250k, you might as well just pick up DeMar. I love Tracy McGrady's though in every 2k. So if I had the MT, I'd probably go for Tracy just for the fact of having a T-Mac card out there. But I don't think actually on the floor you're going to see too much of a difference. I think T-Mac's got a bigger wingspan by a bit. Yeah. But other than that, yeah, you're not going to see much of a difference out there. But I don't know. Personally, to me, I'd just rather use a Tracy McGrady than a DeRozan card.
Yeah, I mean, my perspective, like, I've got T-Mac, and I'm literally having this conversation now. It's a tactical downgrade. I do agree with that, like, as an idea. You know, he's got a 5-inch shorter wingspan. He's an inch shorter or 2 inches shorter. It might be.
He's an inch, 6'7" versus 6'8".
Defensively, stat-wise, T-Mac obliterates DeRozan. Badge-wise as well, he's got badges on Hoff like Heart Crusher, which DeRozan doesn't. Especially with the amount of steals you're getting with T-Mac in those lanes with that size, like that's really significant, game-changing stuff. Like, I don't agree with this. Like, oh, they're just the same card. We got 2 T-Macs in a week. Like that is not the case at all. But I do think it's the most natural tactical downgrade you could do if you just wanted to get your MT back. But understand that you're losing something if you make that. It is a downgrade. Like, definitely a downgrade. They're not interchangeable to me.
So, like, they're just two different cards. I feel like one, T-Mac is probably more towards the next gen community because he has Hall of Fame blinders, and then Chasey, and then DeMar DeRozan for people who still play current. Although he does have a few less badges, same jump shot essentially. The key badges he has, and it's like, for current gen, no steady shooter. So,
absolutely, the Hoff blinders on next gen versus no steady on current gen for DeRozan definitely helps. But there's something I don't understand. There's certain big name cards in this game that just get certain sorts of animations, and T-Mac's like kind of one of them, where he's been so good in 2K since 2K15, and it's like sometimes it feels like it's deeper than the stats and badges because like he's got this weird thing about him where when he moves, when he's dribbling the ball, it almost feels like he's like faster. Like I was saying with Wilt versus D-Rob at 99 speed, they don't feel the same. Wilt feels so much faster. It's kind of the same way with T-Mac. It seems like when he's dribbling, it seems like he's just faster than even whatever his speed is, which I'm sure is 99 after a coach. So
yeah, I agree with that. Right, cool. JD, let's get into a bit more stuff about what you're doing at the moment. Like you obviously said it's a year tomorrow, right? Like,
yep.
Any regrets?
Congratulations.
Any regrets?
I regret everything. No. No, not at all. Best decision I think I could have ever made in my life, and it's crazy thing. It's already been a year since I made that decision. Maybe looking back, it was a little bit too soon or a little bit rash and not really thought through. But I guess sometimes you just got to do things like that and just go for it and just not think ahead and just hope for the best.
Has it exceeded your expectations or?
Oh God, yeah, by far. Like, and I think I said this last time, but like every day I have, every like stream I have, I'm like, well, that's the best it's ever going to be. Tomorrow's only going to like that. If that's the best it's ever going to be, I'm happy with that, and then we'll just see where I go from there. But yeah, thankfully I've never had to deal with that just yet.
Your like viewers, like your fans, how your subs, however you want to describe them. I know everyone uses a different word. They are probably the most loyal subs I've seen to any YouTuber. Like there's like 200 or 300 people that will be in every single stream that you do. That every time they come into my stream, they start talking about you. That were in my stream last night when I mentioned your name and they lost their minds. Like, I mean, genuinely, the reaction in the stream, Josh was there, right? It was literally just, this is the best news ever. Like, to those guys,
oh, that's mad.
Like, yeah, they follow you to the end of the world. Like, what is it about what you do, you think, that just kind of builds such a loyal fan base? Because I think it is quite unique. I mean, everyone's got loyal fans, but it seems like everyone that watches your streams is like, it's JD or nothing.
That's mad. I mean, I've never really thought about it like that. I guess
true.
I try and just make sure that everybody feels like they're part of a stream. Like, I don't want to see someone come in and then just put a message and then just have to disappear without feeling acknowledged or anything like that. I do try and like get to as many. I try and like keep a conversation with as many people as well. My memory in like life is really, really bad, but I do like try my best to remember people by like, if they've got a username but they've got a real name, I'll try and remember their real name and things like that, just to try and like you said, just keep them make them feel like they're part of a community, which they are. And then I guess that's what keeps people coming back. And then like consistency of it as well. It's kind of like just coming for a chat with a friend every day kind of thing. Like,
yeah,
that's how it's been described to me anyway. It's like people just come through and they're like, you're just a part of my daily routine, just come in and have a chat and see what you're doing. So that's kind of what the attraction is, I guess.
Community is the key. Community is the key word for me in terms of what you're doing, because like,
yeah,
people will watch a stream, and often they'll watch a stream to, you know, see gameplay or to see someone's reaction to news, or, you know, something that's going on the stream specifically that they want to watch, or, you know, they you know, there's a lot of people that stream hop, right? They go from one stream to another, just pop in, say hello to everyone. Like, you actually, you have a community, and it comes across. Like, I just want to say this, you know, we've had a lot of people on the podcast, and, you know, we're so grateful for everyone that's been on. Like, what they've done for us is just incredible. But you're like, the effort you put in when we kind of did the last podcast, you know, you retweeted everything, you followed Josh on Twitter, like, it's so obvious to me that like you're trying to build that community and you're trying to hold yourself to, I think, a certain standard, which actually I think, you know, even myself, I think a lot of people could follow. Like, is that a goal of yours? Do you want to set that precedent and you think how, you know, a major content creator should interact with their community?
I mean, I guess so. Whenever I put anything out or do anything, I'm always like, I want to be proud of what I'm doing. Like, any video I put out, I'm like, I want to be actually happy with that. I don't want it to be a video with like no substance. I don't want someone to watch that video and then think I've just wasted like 15-20 minutes of my life watching a video that didn't like help me out or anything like that. Like, I always want to have people watch my video, be entertained, and then come away from it thinking, I enjoyed that. I don't feel like I wasted my time. So I just want to make videos I can look back on and think like, yeah, I enjoyed watching that video. It had purpose. It's still relevant. Like, it can be watched by people even if they go back like a few years later. So, and then, I guess for like interacting on Twitter as well, just like trying to be like proud of how I act and how I interact with people and just being nice to people, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. It's
you know what I think people like most about JD? I think they like seeing his smile. So you know what I'm gonna do to see that? Killa Mutombo is here.
Throwback. There's something that Kills the Boy said, and actually when he said it, he had me thinking about you, JD. And he said, like, when he started YouTubing, he was like doing videos, and then he realized at some point he needed to turn himself into a brand. And like, I don't want to answer this question for you because I want you to answer it. But for me, like, I think the big thing that you've done is you've turned yourself into a brand. You've made it less about the content and more about people wanting to watch you do anything, whether it's getting absolutely hammered, taking 10 shots on stream, whether it's a vlog about your car. Like, people just, I feel like people feel like they know you. Is that a fair point, guys? Like, people feel like they know JD. Like, when I first spoke to you, you were exactly what I expected. Do you know what I mean? Like,
in a good way or a bad way?
in the best way possible. Like, I just feel like you have a connection with people who watch you that like transcends just a content creator and a community that's watching them. It feels like it's the same thing. Like for you, we've asked this question, hundreds of times. What do you think has been your key to the success that you've had? Because it's really understated, JD. Like the climb that you've had over the last year. If you carry on that trajectory, like in six months to 12 months, you could arguably be the biggest 2K content creator out there. Like, that is the trajectory you're on. What do you think has been the key to that growth over the last year?
I don't know. I guess I'll just put out content that, like I said, I'm proud of, but also that I would want to watch. So like the way I always think about it is I put out videos that I would want to watch, not what I think other people would want to watch. And I think that's a good way to like avoid being burnt out. Because if you only put out videos that you think people are going to watch, but you don't enjoy doing them yourself, you're like very quickly going to find yourself forcing yourself to record a video. And then that's going to translate into the actual recording itself. And then people are going to watch it and be like, well, this guy's clearly not enjoying what he's putting out. And it's not going to go very far. So I've always done videos that I want to watch. Like when I stream, I want to watch streamers that interact with their chat all the time, which is why I try and do that. I don't like having music on because I find like a lot of streamers have their music like way too loud and you can't hear the streamer. So I'm like, I don't want to have music on my streams. In terms of videos, I like to do things that have got like progression or like progression. So like FIFA YouTubers, I don't know if everybody watches FIFA YouTubers, like Nepenthes and A9 Skills. I don't know if you heard of those guys. But I used to watch them every day and they did a similar style of videos to what I did. Just like a road to glory every day. And how I watch that is how people say they watch me, which is mind blowing. Because I used to watch every day. It was just like catching up with a friend. It was just like talking to somebody every day or just hearing them talk to you every day. It was like 20-minute, 30-minute video just talking about like the progression of the video game from each day to day. And then that's just kind of what I've taken to 2K because no one was really doing that here. So that's kind of what I've done. Like I said, that's what I wanted to watch. So that's what I want to put out because that's what I think some people might want to watch. But yeah, that's kind of how I do it, I guess.
That's a good outlook on it. I never thought of it like when you said like you don't make, because like a lot of times when people are trying to grow on YouTube, a lot of things that people say in the videos, oh, you got to make content for other people, not for yourself. And that's actually the first time I heard somebody said I'd make content that I would want to watch. And I guess that does kind of make, it makes sense to a certain extent because it's like, then you're making content and there's nobody in the earth is like really just unique in itself. And I say that like everybody likes something similar to a certain extent. So like if you're making content that you want to watch, there's obviously other people out there that's gonna watch the stuff that you want to watch. And then it's like you're growing this this community because people seeing your interaction and they want to interact with you. And then that's actually a good way to look at it. I never thought of it like that.
I mean, there's literally people on Twitter, like I'll go into someone else's stream and there's like, someone with a username like JD fan or like TJ crossover or whatever. Like, you can see these kind of like little homages to JD just all over Twitch. Like, do you feel like it's going to get harder? I mean, you're already at a point. The fact that you've got, like I said, 300-400 people in your streams and you're still interacting with everyone. Like when I go into your stream and I leave a comment, I know you're going to respond to it. I'm winding you up, telling you to pick up these terrible cars, and you're responding to everything. Like it just it never kind of stops. Do you think there's a tipping point where you might lose that? Like, if you get to 800,000 people, do you think you're going to be able to keep that connection with these guys?
I hope so. I don't know. I never know if it's going to grow anymore. If that's going to be like the most viewers I'll ever have, and it'll just go down for it. Like I don't know, but as long as I can physically keep up with reading and talking at the same time while like making coherent sentences, then I will do my very best. But I mean, you've been through to my streams. Most of the time I can't speak English anyway, so
it's impressive that you've managed to still keep with that many people in the stream now. It is impressive that you still managed to almost pick out.
I can't even keep up with 5 people in the chat.
Yeah, I'm useless. Yeah, I mean, I told you about that. The first time I streamed, I was like, I'm going to do like 3,000 XP. And trying to keep up with the chat and the stream, I did 200 XP in 2 hours. Like,
did you buy a contract?
Yeah, there was times Jazz was shooting with, I think it was Wade, right? He's like, I finished my challenges. What the hell am I doing? He's like, oh my gosh.
Like, I was just doing the wrong challenge with Wade for an entire video. Brilliant. Yeah, it's really impressive, JD. I know you've got to go stream, so we'll leave you to it and we'll close out the rest of this. I really appreciate you being on again, man. And I think we've got to talk more. Let's keep this kind of UK 2K brand going. It's just always awesome to have you on, man. Like, it really is fun. The guys were
all
excited.
4 of our names start with a J. I just realized that. All 4 of our,
what's
even
weird?
with Jacob too.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
fine.
J's all day.
It would be fun. Thank you so much for coming on, man. We appreciate it. We want to get you on as often as we can. Just putting it out there. Once the kind of global issue is over, we're planning to do a live podcast. Well, I'm going to fly Josh and Jaquel to London. Considering you're like an hour or 2 away, I think it would be amazing to have you on that podcast if we all meet up and do it live. Feel free, Jacob.
As well.
International Josh. International Josh.
Yeah.
Definitely never been to EU. Never been to EU. So
that'd be cool. Yeah, I'll fly.
I can't wait to try the food.
Right?
I can't wait to try the food out there.
It's like a 2-hour drive, but I'll fly you just to make you feel important.
take longer to board the plane than actually fly it.
It'll be like a 10-minute flight.
Yeah, thanks, JD. Keep us informed on what's going on with you, man. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. We'll definitely get you on again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And just keep it up, man. Just keep putting out these things every week. I know it's a hell of a lot of work to do the editing and the exporting and recording and everything like that, and planning, like getting everybody in the same time zones, whatever. But yeah, just keep it up, man, because it's awesome. And yeah, thank you very much for having me on again, man. It's been a blast.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Take care, man.
All right, cheers.
Okay, guys. So that was JD Crossover. Like, he joined us for well over an hour today. We really appreciate his time. As we said, it's always a blast when we have JD on, and I'm going to try and get him on a little bit more, even just for an episode here and there, if he co-hosts and things like that. He's just so easy to talk to. He's such a nice guy. Like, he really is just a nice person, and you can see why he's got the growth that he has. Like, he's just so likable.
Yeah, I feel like if he wasn't doing 2K, I feel like he'd be like good in sales or something, because he's just very charismatic. He's just like you talk to him once, you're like, oh, that's my guy JD. Like, he's just like a charismatic guy.
Yeah, he definitely has that personality. Like you said, with sales, like that's something I noticed a lot with, like, because I used to work in retail. Like, my coworker Ra, he was very like he knew how to have conversations with people, very gravitating. That's somebody who, like, JD kind of reminds me, very humble, and he just, I don't know, he just can't help. Like, if you don't like JD, something's wrong with you. You need to go see a doctor. Like, honestly speaking, if you have any problems with JD, you're the problem. Yeah, like he's like the 2K's golden child. I would say the community golden child. You know what I'm saying? Speaking
of likable people as well, shout out to Most Ballin, who finally got his kind of interaction with 2K. They've given him a card to give away, a few other things. That's some long overdue acknowledgement there. Big shout out to him as well. Guys, all right, let's get back into the content really quickly, because there's been some hot takes this week, and I kind of spoke about DeMar and Team Backer, people kind of getting a bit carried away with the fact that they're the same card. They're not the same card, but I understand it. I understand the point. This Tyrese, people are saying he's better than Lonzo. Mainly because he's got Pro 2. That seems to be the only reason that I can make sense of.
What's the jump shot?
Aaron Gordon based on very quick.
Aaron Gordon. Yeah. Aaron Gordon, the same Aaron Gordon from the limited reward, right?
Yeah, but that timing was on normal. Normal to quick's a big difference. Normal to very quick's probably a huge difference. But my stream chat, holy smokes, they weren't saying he's better than Lonzo. They were saying he's better than every point guard in the game. They're saying, like,
oh, for crying out loud.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you're
probably the best diamond point guard.
They were saying that this card is like top five point guard, hands down. Like, it wasn't just like one person spamming it. It was like nonstop. Like, people were telling me to use him. People were saying he's top 5. And then people started to troll a little bit, and they were saying he's better than Pete. But, like, everybody was going on about this card yesterday. Like,
he's not bad. Like, looking at him for a diamond, 22 Hall of Fame badges, 30 gold. He has a lot of hot zones at the top of the key. Hall of Fame hot zone hunter. He looks like a really good card. I feel like, if you're I feel like he's a good point guard, to run value wise. I'm gonna try to get him 6'5".
Yeah, people got carried. I'm gonna pick him up today. I'm gonna do his XP. I'm gonna try him out.
Yeah. I
mean, I don't know if he's that good. He is, without question, the best diamond point guard. He's probably better than quite a few picked diamonds. But I think influencers have said a couple of things and people have got carried away. I mean, run him and then tell me if he's that good. Like,
yeah.
Like, tell me. Run into Pete and then tell me if he held his own. Let's see that happen.
The thing is, though, it's like crazy how the whole like diamond power creep, like all that kind of stuff works, because like realistically looking at this card, the fact that they were able to make him appear as a diamond in game is absolutely unreal, because you look back on a card that was a pink diamond like Lonzo Ball. I mean, Tyrese has more badges. He has more Hall of Fame badges. He has 102 more stats, and that's not even counting the shot IQ, intangibles, and potential. So it's like
intangibles are 25. That's why he's probably so.
Yeah, I mean, Lonzo's intangibles 30. Yeah, so like it is not counting that the unimportant stats, not counting the unimportant stats.
Yeah,
like
on 2KDB they don't count those stats. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's crazy how he has more stats than Lonzo. He has more badges than Lonzo. He has better signature animations than Lonzo. So he's better than Lonzo on paper and in theory. But like it's crazy how they're able to make Lonzo appear as a 96 and Halliburton appeared to a 94. Because I used to think that what they did was, they just tone up these shot IQ, certain stats like that. But like,
shot IQ's a 25.
Yeah, where Lonzo's only a 60. So like, even accounting the unimportant stats is weird how many. I think they can just straight up say like this card's a 94 diamond now. Like they don't even have to mess with stats. I think they can just make them
looking at it doesn't
however
make
they
sense.
want.
Because like I see, I'm looking at his stats. It's like a lot of greens and like probably one or two. Like the only thing that's red and yellow is the intangibles, the rebound, post up, interior defense, standing dunk, and shot IQ. Everything else is literally green. So like
I've just lost all meaning.
95 speed.
There's rubies. There's rubies like Thaddeus Young, KPJ, that to me are better than like 95% of the diamond cards in the game. Like these cards are elite.
And we saw it last year too, how like the end of the year diamond cards, like Nick Batum or whatever, was like absolutely gas compared to like a diamond card that would have came out in like September. It's crazy how like, at the beginning of the year we were seeing pink diamonds. Like Steph Curry, the first pink diamond, had 6 Hawk badges. Chauncey Billups, pink diamond, has 6 Hawk badges. And now we see diamond cards with 22. You look back on D-Wade, Galaxy Opal had 15 Hawk badges. Now we're getting diamond cards with 22. And honestly, I don't even think Halliburton has the most Hawk badges for a diamond. I think there's more diamond cards that have way more Hawk badges than 15 compared to like, D-Wade with 15 Hawk badges and an Opal, or Gary Payton is an Opal 16 Hawk badges. So it's like, it's crazy how they make that power creep work.
It was the spotlights where the diamonds just became cracked, wasn't it? We had Rocco, like Cam Reddish. Like I was running through Cam when there was opals in the game.
Diamond Cam Reddish, until they dropped that Opal Cam Reddish. Oh man, that Opal Cam Reddish is so damn good.
Yeah,
he's so good.
I really like that spotlight set from last year because they had like good cards for a lot of players that like wouldn't really be recognized. And I feel like that's the one point in content that the content's been great this year as far as like what they can do as far as dropping cards, in my opinion. But I feel like they sleep on a lot of these younger players. Like they do a very good job of making sure the legends get their cards, but there's certain up and coming young stuff. Yeah, I feel like there's just a lot of good up and coming players in the league that just get slept on a lot. And then there's guys like Kyle Lowry, guys in the league that don't have anything better than a Ruby card. So like I feel like when it comes to like some like current players, they kind of sleep sometimes. Like I really wish that like I don't even like Embiid, but like he should be a part of the meta. Like because he's like an MVP caliber player right now, but like who's really no one's running Embiid, like they do a very good job of making sure we get the Creams and Wilts. They do a good job making sure we get people like Pistol Pete, Magic, these legends, but sometimes I feel like they just like kind of forget about these current players sometimes. And Embiid and Lowry are even better than I was saying. Sometimes I like to play with, these younger guys that might be rookies. LaMelo Ball, he needs a card. Wiseman.
I mean, they've slept on all the rookies, haven't they? We're still waiting on LaMelo. We're waiting on Wiseman. I mean, Edwards got a diamond now. And then, there's like, these sleepers like Quickly and things like that.
Eddie Jones too.
Last year.
Because Eddie Jones was good as a diamond. So when he gets cards, there's just a lot of cards that we're supposed to be getting real soon that I'm almost certain of.
Yeah. Eddie Jones will definitely get, he got an Opal last year. For sure. Yeah. So he'll definitely get a good card sooner than later. And his diamond was really, really good. But Like Sadiq Bey. I don't know if you guys know much about him. He's a rookie for the Pistons.
Yeah.
That's obviously my team and everything. He won Eastern Conference Player of the Week, not like Eastern Conference Rookie of the Week. He won Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Yeah, like
That's
he's
big.
very, very good, and his best card's a silver. Like even just to get him like a ruby would be cool, you know. But he
I mean, a
deserves more
moments
than
card
that.
is just a missed opportunity there, isn't it? At the very least.
Yeah,
If-
moments
if-
have been bad this year, man. There's like one Devin Booker, like it's so irrelevant. You would think that'd be a topic on the podcast. Like let's talk about the Friday content.
I'm
Then
not
let's
even
talk about the
joking.
moments. But the moments, like we didn't even mention that Devin Booker
Jacob,
that
I
came out. It's just like
went through the updates on 2KDB, and I've got a list of cards. There's a few more we've got to discuss, and literally, I skipped over that card. I was like,
Yeah.
it's not even worth. No one has spoken about it. No one's interested in it. Like, it is. Yeah, it's weird. The moments have been weird. I mean, has there been one good moments card? The Sabonis one got a bit of hype.
I guess the All-Star Giannis moments card was like cool, but look, like not even a month
No
later, a few
range.
weeks later, we get a better old Giannis.
Yeah.
What gold range,
But-
which is something we've been asking for.
Yeah. See, and I know what happened with that Giannis card. They had this other Opal Giannis planned. So they were like, oh, shoot, Giannis won All-Star Game MVP. We got to like make like a bad,
Quick cash grab.
a relatively
Yeah.
bad version of him. Because like compared to the other Giannis, like he's just not it.
Yeah, and it's not even close. Like normally, like a Giannis without range is not too bad, but I think they just dropped it because they didn't expect Giannis to go off like that.
Yeah. What do you guys think of this Ingram card?
I didn't check him. I checked out his height and stuff. I know he could play shooting guard. I don't think I saw Pro 2 by his name. I'm not sure if they updated it. I don't think they gave him Pro 2. But I mean,
he's Pro 3.
Pro 3? Oh, so his frame is like, he's good. You know, he's a big shooting guard, but what can you really do with him? I mean, next gen, maybe he'll be good.
He does have Pro 2.
He has Pro 2?
Yeah.
And I know he's under the weight threshold too, so I know you'll be able to. Okay, so then he's actually might be
Slender
good.
man.
He might be good, yeah.
Yeah.
With next gen is he has slasher dribble style, and at this point all of my guards have quicker shifty because I can quick stop out of that. And with slasher, I don't know, it's slasher you can deal with, but I just rely on quick stop so much on next gen. I need that quicker shifty on all my guards.
Yeah, I mean, BI cards in general have always been compared to KD cards. I remember at the end of last year, people were comparing is it the NBA's back? Is that what the set it was in? It was NBA's back, wasn't it? Where he had that OP Opal. I mean, I remember running a squad builder where I built a squad for like under 100K at the end of last year. And I spent like 70K of that on that card. And he went off. I remember he went off. Like, I felt like he was almost as good as the GOAT KD. Like, I didn't really feel a huge difference. I'll be interested to see how people's views on him develop like over the next few weeks. This Richard Dumas, that is how you pronounce it, by the way, guys. Have you I'll tell you what I think of this card. I don't know if you guys watch Jay Canada's like spin to win series, but it's like addictive viewing. We've got some news on Jay Canada coming up soon as well, just putting that out there. That's the face, Josh. He absolutely went off in his spin to win final game last night. He picked him up, like literally card had been out for 5 minutes. He had one upgrade he could make, and he picked up Richard Dumas off the bench, and he was finals MVP in that game. That card went absolutely crazy. I think he greened like 7 threes in a row with it.
His jump shot is really good though. Remember on your account, I was shooting around with him. I was greening in his non-hot zone. So he actually, that Paul George base is pretty good.
Yeah. On very quick as well.
Yeah.
He's better than Paul George on paper. On paper, he's better than Paul George, which is wild because Richard's 25K. Paul George is still holding close to 200. And he's better on paper than Paul George. So,
yeah.
I don't know.
I've got him on my account because I sold Larry Bird yesterday, and Josh had to play a game. He was playing in a tournament, so I had to pick him up a quick power forward just to fill that spot for a game. And yeah, I'm going to try him out today, but he does look absolutely goated.
I think you'll like him, Jazz. I think you'll like him. I think that
so
at least would be pretty good for you to time with.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to pick up AK. So we didn't discuss AK or Giannis last week. Where are you guys at with AK?
I love him. I feel like he's the best power forward. He could arguably be the best power forward in the game.
I start him at the 3, and I start Giannis at the 4 with Kareem at the 5. I mean,
Would you call him a franchise player? You think he would be a franchise player?
No, I don't, because I think that it's really tough to like I think he's like the best glue guy you can have. He's the best glue guy you can have because he's gonna get it done on defense. He's not gonna. Let me put it this way: he's not gonna win you a bunch of games just off of him alone, but he's not gonna ever lose you a game. Like he might shoot a full bar or something, cost you a game, but like you're never gonna be like, man, I wish I would have ran somebody else instead of AK at that position. Yeah. Like he's not gonna be, like there's basketball players in the real world too that are kind of like that, where it's like they're just sturdy, solid glue guys who are going to hold it down. They're not going to be the type of player that's going to go get you 30 every single night. They're not going to be the type of player where it's like every single game you're like, oh man, this is the best card in the game. But they're never, ever going to be the type of player where you're like, I wish I would have went with somebody else. Like he just holds it down. He just does his job. He's a great defender. His jump shot's great. If you have,
would you run him over Bird?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Just because of what he does on defense. I mean, I swear there's these secret sauces in these cards, man, that go beyond the stats, badges, and what's on the database. There's something about these defensive stances with certain player models and all that. Like, I've played this game long enough.
He looks huge on next gen. I'm looking at him. I'm like, you can notice his wingspan. Like, he looks huge. I'm like, damn.
I think a lot of this stuff is I think a lot of these things exist. Like, how do I say this diplomatically? There's content creators that basically focus on a handful of things every time they review a card, right? 3 or 4 key badges, 3 or 4 key stats, and 3 or 4 key tendencies. There is a lot of data on all of these cards, and I think there's some of those tendencies, especially, as way more significant than we give them credit for. Like I said, throwaway comments like DeMar is T-Mac, when T-Mac's got a 5-inch bigger wingspan and Heart Crusher, which is a game-changing badge. Absolute game-changing badge. When you've got a player who's going to get more steals and has Heart Crusher, that literally could be the difference in a game from one game to the next. So to compare him to DeMar is weird, but yeah, I think that is the case with a lot of these cards. I think we need to start looking at more of these intangibles, like tendencies and things. Because you're right, Jacob. I think there are things that happen with cards that we don't understand. Some of them play way better than we think they will, and some of them play way worse than we think they will. And there will be reasons. That stuff will be on the cards of it. Like, we just don't know what we're looking for because we're so used to looking at the same 10 things on every card.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I think that there's a lot of untapped knowledge about 2K and MyTeam in general, mostly due to the fact of the game being rehashed and reissued and redeveloped every single year. I think in these other competitive games that exist, I'm not really big in any of the sort of communities, but stuff like Street Fighter, games like this, or Battlefield, people have played these games for multiple years, so they have every little intrinsic thing about the game available for to know and learn and stuff like that if you start digging around the internet. But I feel like this game really has a lot of like untapped knowledge about certain stuff, about the defensive stances, about all sorts of stuff. The reasons why you shoot straight arms, there has to be a rhyme or reason to this kind of stuff, but nobody really knows. And I think the main reason why nobody knows is because the game never exists for long enough for people to be able to figure that kind of stuff out. Because realistically, the game cycle is much shorter compared to any other major competitive game.
Yeah, like a Call of Duty is like you give it like a 2-3 year run. Even though they do drop, I think they do drop a new one almost every year, I think. But it's like the game has a long, like, Modern Warfare has like what's been out about 2-3 years now, 2-3 years. Yeah. And there's like the longevity.
I mean, if you go back to like Ty talking about tendencies,
that's something new he kind of brought.
That was this time last year, basically, right?
Yeah,
around this time. I mean, my question: if he didn't talk about tendencies, would anyone be talking about them right now and how important they are? Like, it is those elite of the elite players that understand this game at a different level, and that's when Ty was on. Like, he talks about that kind of secret knowledge he has. I think there are people out there that understand this stuff, but they don't necessarily want to give it away because it's competitive advantage or whatever, right? And then when the timing is right, end of the cycle, whatever, they can just give everything away, and we could all have fun for a month talking about these cards in a different way before the next game comes out.
I just don't think it does though, Jazz, because I've talked to a lot of these guys in private settings and stuff, and like I feel like a lot of them agree with some of the top players in the world, I think a lot of them agree that there's some sort of untapped knowledge about a lot of the stuff that happens in this game, because even the most elite people, I mean, when it comes to shooting, nobody really understands the full green bars and stuff like that. If it's straight RNG, if there's something that causes it, just the algo and momentum, because it's very evident that whether you want to call it algo, momentum, there's points in the game where your passes become slower, where you're more likely to foul instead of get a bump. There's points in the game where you're more likely to get a blow by then. And it's obvious that what happens is what 2K does is the sliders adjust compared to what's happening in the game, because of course, if your player's cold, their stats are going to go down. If your players are hot, they're going to go up, but they're very marginal increases if you go into the menus and look at the increases on these stats. But they play with the sliders, and it's very evident, and it's just as evident this year, but in different things, because last year it was very evident with passing speed. If you didn't have the momentum on your side, the algo on your side, whatever you want to call it, you would throw a pass and it would sit through the air and float. But if you had all of the momentum, you had, it was very clear that you had the upper hand and everything was going your way, you throw a pass and it would just zoom. They added bullet passer this year and next gen, so it's a little bit like more reliant on that badge, but this year it comes with the fouling. When I have all the momentum and I'm in a press, I have my Kawhi guarding ball and it's bump, 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 bump. But when I don't have the momentum, it's foul, blow by, foul, blow by.
Like guaranteed 3-point foul as well every time. That is really starting to get on my nerves. Like the 3-point foul with the algo is really like grinding me at the moment. Like as soon as the algo kicks in, I know it's coming. I won't dare jump at a 3. And that's a really difficult spot to be in, because that guy's open, and if you jump, is it better just to let him take the shot? The funny thing with algo is it's not a crazy concept anymore. I think for a long time it was like tinfoil hat stuff, right? People were like, is it real? Is it not? It's kind of just up to you to decide. When we've got badges in the game that literally change the sliders, like we've got takeover badges, Showtime, Heart Crusher, things like that. It's just another version of that. Like the mechanics are in the game. We know they're in the game.
Yeah.
Like it's not a guess anymore.
Ronnie, so like the thing about Ronnie is people sometimes take his word for more than it is. The guy just talks to talk most of the time, and that's his job. But he's even said like, no, algo's in the game because basketball is a game of runs.
And that's true. And remember, I made that point to Jazz. Like, what if their idea of algo is like momentum in real life basketball?
Didn't he say that to Splash straight after 250K?
He kind of throw a little jab at Splash. I was like, you're like
absolutely ridiculous comment to make to somebody who just lost 200 grand.
I'm like, bro, like have some type of, because like Splash is like, my players started playing like 99 overrules. He made that comment. And then he's like, well, there was some plays where you did kind of, I'm like, bro, he just missed out.
That was so
on $250,000. And you're going to sit here and want to like buff your chest. Like, bro, what do you do? Like, just let him say what we got to say.
Yeah.
Go on. Like, that's it,
if he
bro.
wants to rage, if he wants to blame the game, whatever he wants to do, he's entitled to do. Don't like patronize.
Don't freaking defend this freaking game, bro. What are you doing?
Yeah, he is who he is. Like, I don't, there's a lot to be said that doesn't need to be said, because everyone who's been around the community knows. But like the thing about it is like basketball is a game of runs, but 2K shouldn't have to force us on that. I think that the run shouldn't be 2K forcing that run.
Yeah,
I think that it should be created from yourself. Like, oh wow, I was super locked that quarter. Like, damn, I was really locked that quarter. Like, I could feel it. Like, I could feel it. I was greening all my shots. I could feel it myself. Like, it doesn't need to be forced by 2K to have that run happen.
But the thing
I play
is,
much better at
those
certain
mechanics
than
in.
others.
Those badges are there to achieve that. If you're down bad, you get a couple of steals with T-Mac, that Heart Crusher badge will kick in and it will create a run the other way. The mechanics are already in the game to make this a game of runs, and that's really good. It's this kind of unnecessary behind the scenes bit that none of us have any control over that just makes Unlimited at the moment like the least played game mode.
It's like, why am I greening?
To touch it.
Like, you see how Jacob was saying, like, all right, I'm locked in that quarter. Like, there should be no point in the game where I'm playing somebody. I don't care what coach you have. If I'm greening all of my shots, there should be a certain point in the game where 2K you're not greening anything. You need to start missing your whites. Even if it's you need to start missing your whites, because I'm greening. It's not like 2K's giving me a bunch of full bar. No, I'm greening my shots. I have momentum. I'm hitting shots. My team is locked in. Why should somebody be able to keep up with me because of something that 2K ridiculous. Added to the game?
Yeah.
That's bad. That's bad.
I want to give like one quick example on that too. So like I was wagering Max Sauce 2 weeks ago. And I won game 3. And after the game, he went back. You guys know how you can go back and rewatch gameplay from earlier in the game. Yeah. And like you can zoom in, use the cameras and all that kind of stuff. Like I was on such a run that for 2 possessions in a row, and one of them I had D-Rob running with the ball full court, and he pushes the ball out in front of him because he's running fast, and the ball literally goes through his player's body, the defender's body, and snatches back, and he keeps running. And then the play after that, my Magic Johnson passes the ball through his player's chest. Like the ball literally phased through his chest. And it was very obvious. And I'm saying this as somebody who was getting the positive side of that. It was very obvious that the algo just wanted me to not turn over the ball in those situations because I was getting the better of it, you know?
It happened on stream last night. It literally happened on stream last night. I pointed it out on stream that the ball went through Luka's face.
Yeah,
I literally said it. I was like, did the ball just go through Luka's face? Like, it did. That's actually what happened. It was in TTO. I was up by 10. They were trying to get him to come back, and that's the kind of nonsense that happens. It's interesting. Like, TTO as well. Yeah, you see it in every game mode. If you're like the last bucket in TTO is always the hardest bucket to score. Have you guys noticed this?
Yeah, like you could be, you only need 2 points. You only need, and it's like I've been doing the same thing all game. He's defending the same way. And like dudes will miss open, like I'll never forget. Like I understand it's a late time layup, it never misses because I have whole confidence in the finisher. Why is my best player missing that? And I'm like,
it's always a last shot. It's always a last.
Like, come on.
Even in TT offline, it happens. Like,
and like
green 6 shots in a row, and then it'll take you 10 attempts to green the last one. It's just infuriating.
And even with the whole wagering thing, like, bro, I literally played like I'm not even mad that I lost. It's just like if I go back and look at that game, there's certain things I'm like, come on. Like I understand Phil Jackson give you a 10 plus boost to everything, but like I'm not known for greening my shots. It's not something I'm probably known for my defense more than anything. I'm greening like 80% of my shots. Why is he keeping up with me? Because of a coach boost he has. Like, you know, like I feel like that's when that should be me creating the algo. Like I'm hot. Like, you know, like when players is hot in real life, like, yo, like Melo when he dropped 62 points. This man going into the half,
literal momentum. Yeah,
shot it from full court because he's having a good game. Nothing but net. And you expect that because he's hot right now. It should be the same thing in 2K. I shouldn't be like having to green damn near everything just to have a chance of winning the game. And then
the funny thing is, like we kind of touched on it earlier. If skill-based matchmaking actually exists, if 4 weeks ago they did put it in the game, which I think the three of us agree that they did, right? Do we all feel that?
So.
Yeah. Oh no, it's no question at this point, Jazz. Like everybody knows. I mean, if you're playing on the Switch in Asia, yeah, you're probably not getting skill-based matchmaking yet because there's nobody else playing. So they're just trying to find a game for you to play. Period.
Anyone.
But if you're on a major console and a major server, yeah, no, it's no question. It's no debating. Games take 3 times as long to find, and if you're a good player, every single game you match up with, you're going to match up with a good player. Besides, like, maybe once out of 10 games, you might get somebody who you can flood. But
so if it does exist, doesn't that make algo completely redundant now?
Yeah, and this is one thing, too. If 2K wants to take their competitive scene to the next level, they need to have a totally different set of not game mode, but game sliders. You know, they have Rookie, Pro, Hall of Fame. There needs to be something much more drastic than Hall of Fame. If they want to have a true competitive game, they need to totally have a game mode where it's like meant for competitive play, where algo is out of the game entirely, where the sliders stay where they're at the whole entire game. The shooting isn't as RNG, you know, it's where it's not. Maybe you can debate whoever about should whites go in, but in a competitive setting, like probably not. So like, you know, have it so it's only greens go. Like they need a completely different type
to
of
come
thing.
Out the game though, like flexible release.
Just like how in Pro-Am they banned in some Pro-Am leagues, certain badges get banned. I think Heart Crusher was banned in the major Pro-Am leagues at the start of the year. So if they really want to have a true competitive game where, you know, which it should be at this point when there's tournaments for $250,000 where people are trying to make the 2K league, if they want to have a true competitive game, which I don't think they have an interest in doing, because I don't think that really helps them that much, because it is mostly marketed towards casual.
Though.
The thing,
250.
You would think, but at the end of the day, I think that when you take the whole entire market for 2K, the competitive scene's here and the whole market is here. So I just don't think it's on their top priority list. But if they really wanted to have a more competitive type community, they need to have a different type of thing instead of Hall of Fame. It needs to be Hall of Fame on steroids, like where it's no algo, greens only go in, et cetera, you know.
I mean, there's even like my league tournaments and play now tournaments where they ban things like 5 out, right? Like, yeah, you can't play zone, things like that. Like, you can't play off-ball defense for more than 2 minutes and stuff like that. There's all these crazy rules. If you really want to make it comp, yeah, on-ball defense, like everything needs to be manual. It all needs to be skill-based. Everything that happens in that game, whether it's screening a shot, getting a steal,
like
whatever
there's
it is.
things they got to change in the game because like it's not that people don't want to play on-ball. It's the fact that when you do, it's so bad. It's like the controls that they tell you to use almost like they don't work.
I think that kind of stuff, I don't think that helps the competitive side as much because if you have the ability to control all 5 players, it's my team. You're not just controlling one defender. I think that a lot of the smartest people in the world when it comes to this game, like Ty, really put people on to the fact that off-ball defense isn't what we used to think it was. We used to think off-ball defense is when you just sit on the center and just let everybody do everything else. But the real thing that works isn't exactly that. It's bringing this player over from here to send a double, switching to that player, running to this lane, taking your player out the corner, bringing him over, like all of that kind of stuff. And like, that's not what off-ball defense used to be. What off-ball defense used to be would be switch to the center and just sit there and just
like
sit
weird.
There.
Yeah,
that would annoy me. Like that would annoy me.
People still do it. People still do that.
And it does. And you know what? Like there should be no reason why people like that get rewarded because it's like that right there is like what skill does that take?
Yeah.
I mean, if you can shoot, that's game over, right? Like if someone tries to do that, it's always funny when someone paints it as well, and you knock down a 3 early in the game, and they literally have no plan B. It always makes me laugh. They start running around aimlessly with all their players. I'm gonna leave this podcast with a kind of thought, right? It's not something I usually do. We've got a big guest on next week, like huge guest, and someone we haven't had on before. He's someone who comes up consistently in podcasts. Like we had to switch things around a bit. He was supposed to be on this week. He's on next week now. JD obviously did an amazing job this week. But I'm super excited to speak to him. Like next week, it's going to be cool. But I'm going to leave you guys with a thought this week. I'm putting together a video, quite a long video. It's the first time I'm kind of doing like a almost film style video. It's going to take a month or 2. And the video is titled "Why MyTeam Will Never Be the Game Mode That We Want It to Be." Right? And my main reason for thinking that MyTeam will never be the game mode we need it to be is because NBA isn't a big enough sport for 2K to put all their energy into. Because the general consensus is EA are going to kind of show up like this knight in shining armor, right? And launch a rival game that will compete with them. They've got Scott O'Gallagher now, and everyone's hyped about that. And there's this inevitability that EA are just going to pop out of nowhere and bring NBA Live back or some new version of the game, and agents doing videos saying how that should work and it should be free. I don't think EA are going to release an NBA game. I don't think they will. And I think unless they do, the gameplay in 2K will never improve. The content will always improve. Anything that's geared towards money and getting people playing the game and game time and all of these things, I think we'll always see improvement in that as we have this year. But the gameplay will never improve because 2K will never have an incentive to.
Yeah, they don't have it. That's the thing. Yeah, like
the thing is like, with EA,
Gallagher, I think with that addition, I think that could be a game changer. I feel like
everyone's assuming he's going to focus on a basketball game. Though that's the mistake I think people are making. He's an amazing developer. They haven't necessarily picked him up.
Didn't he play? Wasn't he professional overseas? He used to play overseas. If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure what his background is. But the thing with EA, the point I'm making is, they have 2 key franchise game mode, sports games, right? Which is the NFL, which is the Super Bowl. Let's think about that as viewing figures. And FIFA, which is the World Cup final. Let's think about that as viewing figures. Now compare that to the NBA finals. And the biggest indicator with EA is what they did with UFC. Because they had no interest in that brand at all. The minute Conor McGregor arrived, look what EA did. They immediately picked up that franchise because they knew where it was going. The trajectory of NBA is never going to be hyped enough and have enough of a global following. And I know when you're in the States, it can be misleading because you think it's bigger than it is over there. I don't know anyone in the UK that watches basketball. No one. JD, that's it. Like, he's the only other guy I know now.
Yeah.
I don't think NBA is a big enough brand. I don't think basketball is a big enough sport for EA to ever invest their money in when they've got franchises like Madden, FIFA, UFC, Battlefield. It's just a non-starter for them. They're just never going to make what they need to make out of it. Why would they ever?
I mean, but like
It's
I
a
heard
drop
like
in
they
the
used to
bucket.
dominate 2K before 2K became big. Like it was NBA Live was the better game.
But look how
before
quickly they
2K.
gave up on it. They just didn't care.
Like
Yeah, and honestly, I would love to talk longer about the history of basketball games in general because I've been playing basketball games since I was 7 years old and I got NBA Live 2004. And at that point, I went back and played NBA Inside Drive 2002. I played NBA ESPN Basketball 2K4. So I've been playing these games for so long, and I feel like I have a pretty deep knowledge on certain things about that kind of stuff. And like, there used to be a lot more competition, and the thing is competition back then didn't drive people to make better gameplay necessarily. It drove them to make more features in the game, which was most needed at that point in time, because that was the issue with games back then. The issue was that they weren't fun. The issue was is that the only thing you could do is load up against the computer and sit there and just mindlessly play against the computer.
Yeah.
So they started adding things like career mode, which for the time was absolutely mind-blowing. Things like that. So back then it wasn't the competition that was driving gameplay necessarily, of course a little bit, but it was more or less driving features and game modes, things like that. And now there's so many exclusive deals for people like Madden. They're the only people that can make EA's the only people that can make NFL licensed games. I'm not sure. I think 2K might have something similar. So I think those definitely hurt. They definitely can't help. I don't think that it definitely would make maybe the difference people expect if there is some sort of competition, but it definitely wouldn't hurt. It definitely wouldn't hurt by any means. Like
I agree. I mean, if they did it, it would be huge. I just don't think EA are going to do it. 2K have now become synonymous with these like fringe games. Like they do wrestling games, and they're just not. Like I said, you look at the World Cup finals, which is one of the most viewed things in the world. Super Bowl is one of the most viewed things in the world. Look at the numbers that Conor McGregor was doing on pay-per-view. Like, unless they've got 100 million people like watching anything at any one time, EA aren't interested. I think they've just made that really clear. And if they were going to rival 2K, they've literally had the opportunity for 3 years. Like since 2019, this game has been on its ass. They could have launched it
the
anywhere.
viewership in the last finals weren't that good though. Like the last, because you know what it was too.
2 billion people watch a World Cup final.
Like
NBA finals viewership,
the numbers been down because like when like last time I remember it being like really high when it was like LeBron and that Warriors around that time. And if I'm not mistaken, I think NBA Live did have a games out during that time. So I feel like that also like you said, like the sport having that much of a that much eyes on it, because we just came off a bubble finals. I'm pretty sure the viewership was down bad. And depending on how the finals go this year, like if we get a Brooklyn Nets Lakers finals, I feel like the viewership would be higher. Not all-time high, but it'll be higher.
Highest rated finals of all time was like 96 with Jordan and the Bulls. That was 25 years ago. Like it's been pretty bad, honestly. I mean
that's terrestrial TV times as well, where view numbers on everything were high, right? Like, all right, guys, we're gonna have to leave it there because we've got a minute left on this recording. That was the most epic discussion. We might pick that up again next week.
We definitely should.
Yeah, we should. I think it was great.
I think our guest would be very. I think he would be good to talk about that as well.
He'll be perfect. Yeah, he'll be perfect. I can't wait to get into it. Guys, thank you again for watching. Like, subscribe, all of that stuff if you haven't. Leave a comment. We just gave you some ammunition there. Go crazy in the comments. Let us know what you think about that and everything we discussed with JD and matchmaking and all of this stuff. I'm sure you're going to let us know what you think. Big thanks to Killa Josh and Jacob again. Thank you again for joining us this week, man.
Appreciate you for always having me on.
But yeah, until next time, thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys.